What's up, everybody? It's me, Johnny G, and welcome back to Arknights. This time, we're going to be taking on at least the beginning of the Siracusano rerun event. Now, I don't know how well I'll do with this one, considering we managed to, with some tough farming and stuff, get it to the end of the Zwillingssturm event. I still didn't beat the boss. I didn't manage to finish. So I'm kind of expecting that maybe I can at least get halfway through, possibly to the end of this event. But I don't know how it plays. I don't know anything about it. And we'll find out. And if I have to do the same thing and I have to follow a little bit of strategy and whatnot in the process in order to get through this, I will be very happy. But I've been very much looking forward to this. The only trouble is I'm getting started a little bit late. So, of course, this is a limited rerun, and reruns don't seem to last as long as the main events do. So we've only got a few more days left. I've got like 5 days left to complete this. So I'm going to be recording each night until I get at least to the end. But we will see how we do. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get logged in and get started. I do have a couple of changes to my operators recently because of doing daily logins and stuff. I've done my daily logins and I've gotten Arundum and stuff that I've used towards pools. And from the, we had the Pick'em here recently, which I used, and I've gotten Chen, I've got Texas, but more recently so, let me go into my 5 stars here. Actually, just yesterday, I had pulls, I had certificates that I used to get pulls out of the Colonel headhunting, and I was able to pull Nightmare and Sora. So we'll see. I'll have to start building a little bit more for some of these characters here and see how much stronger we can get them. But I need to get Texas up and ready in my main squad and stuff like that. I need to continue and start working on E2ing some of these operators and continuing to increase levels and so on and so forth. But this is still my main squad that I'm working with right at this moment. But ooh, this was main. I changed Lancet to, oh, that's right, because I was using this at the end. Give me a minute here. Let me look over here. To fight the Witch King, I was using my main squad, and I had that change. So I had Shaw in as a backup because I used them. That was my main story. I've got 2 medics. I don't really know if I'm gonna need that, at least not right away. So let's see. Who can I put in there? First of all, I should probably put Red back in. So let's take Ansel out, put Red back in for my quick redeploy. Got my snipers. I've got 2 guards, 2 defenders. I've got a vanguard. I probably could use another vanguard. We'll put Texas in.
What do you need?
You. Anyways, I've got 2 casters. I think I'm set enough for now. I'm not trying to do 2x2x2x2 for everything, but I'm just thinking like how I usually like to operate with my team. There's some other things that I'm gonna work on. But let's go ahead and open this up. Watch a little video just because this is cool. I like this one. I like this video. This is cool. Hey, there's Pookie! Oh, she's so adorable here. And she just listens. Look at her little ears going. And her little walk. Woo! Turn around. I'll take that. She just, that little saunter. Oh, God. And they're toast. Lights out. Womp. You guys have no chance. Her little drawing on the thing. The music, that's funny. I don't think I ever caught that before. And woo! Palm strike. Slam. Swipe. As my little thing says, I heart Lupo girls. And shh, Texas is like, nope, stay quiet. I'll take this one. Womp. Dear guy. That's intriguing. Pookie says, no, I want to fight. I'm coming. Let me take a turn. Ooh, I'll fight you too. Whoa, was he trying to be Thanos? Tink. Oh, big mistake, buddy. Now she's got both. That is one thing. Of course, I didn't have the ability to put it into here, but if they do another limited banner and stuff where I can get Omertosa, Texas on this account, I will be pushing for it. I've got her on my main account. I'm happy, but oh, and if with the potential future with a Lappland altar. Might, if that does come true. No, the Pocky broke. Oh my god. Yes. Here we go. Okay, so. Details. Oh wait, that's that. Okay, we're good. All right, so this I believe is our main story thing. These operators are okay. Okay, so this is our item thing. A couple pieces here for furniture. Ooh, Vanguard chips. Ooh, I need a couple of those for Texas to promote her. So I'm ready to E1 her. Okay, what is this? IS-5, 6, 9, 10, and then EXs. Defeat Father Engineer. Okay, so we've got a couple furniture pieces. And of course, this is intelligence search stuff, but I haven't done the event before. What is this? How do we... Okay, so I got 10 likes, read reviews. A Familia's history. The demise of Familia, Texas was a result of Siracusa's old order, yet even the fall of such a prominent Familia did not change anything. The status quo did not change, and the Familiae continued to fight amongst each other. The new Siracusa cannot continue down this path. My friend starred in the show, so I went to watch her. It was good. Also, goodbye. Satisfying ending. Story should have ended. The show was my Siracusan debut. A lot of unexpected things happened along the ways. Final performance turned out pretty good. Unexpectedly good ending. Avoiding following cliches. Shifted the paradigm once. Previous stage successfully. Realistic, uncannily so. The playwright must have some strong opinions about Texas to come up with an ending like that. 7 out of 10. Okay. I don't get what this stuff is. I don't get what this is. I'm supposed to like these? I got 5 days. I would just do one each day or something? I don't know. Let's 8.5 out of 10. Okay, that was Texas's. May come in handy during this character's Azione solo. Okay. I was eating popcorn in the theater and they kicked me out, never got to finish. Okay. Didn't get it. Okay. Well, I ain't gonna like that one because that sounds dickish. Strong opinions about Texas. That sounds like... I thought so. That's spooky. Received old photograph. Okay. Oh, she got a sad face. Anyways, Siracusan debut. 9 out of 10. Okay. Sora may come in handy. Okay. Siracusa's or cannot continue down a path. Ah, it's Vigil. So we got 4 there. Who else do we have? Playwright shifted or paradigm one. So we'll get this one. This is a 9 out of 10. Ben, whoever Ben is. A satisfying ending. It's basically the image I have in mind. Okay, let's go with this one. Engineer. Okay. Lavinia. Okay. Giovanna Rosati. Fountain pen. Okay. Dimitri Sertaldo. Alright, I guess I'll just like this, because... Okay, Renaissance Opera box key. Okay, so I liked all of their reviews. That's whatevs. Alright, so next time, I'll come in and do number 2. And we'll do the same thing. So what did that all give me, though? That gave me a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know... I don't really know what that did. Just out of curiosity, the metal set details... I obtained 1. Give 10 likes. Okay. So now we can start whatever this stuff is. ISST-1. No stage is currently accessible to continue exploring. Not everyone is a fan. Oh, so this is just like a map. Okay. This is interesting. Lucini Grand Hotel. Auto Lavaggio. Now again, just like my last one, I like the Zwillingssturm event, I'll try to narrate some things, but I don't know if I'll be able to do things properly or whatever, or mispronounce anything, so I apologize ahead of time for that, but I will try my best. All right. Texas wakes up from a dream, knowing that her past has come knocking on her door. Dark clouds loom over Volsini. The rainy season has come. So let's do it. Let's go through. The streets of Columbia as a whole are generally more spacious and vibrant than those of Siracusa. But when walking through these streets, one sometimes feels a sense of emptiness, as if one does not belong. That's something under my fingernail. Hey you, car wash guy. Heard you're from Siracusa. I got a question for you. I'm here to wash cars, not answer questions. Don't be like that, pal. Relax, we're not here to cause trouble for broke-ass bumpkins like you. Heard a group of your countrymen came into town today, and we just want to know where they are. What business do you have with them? Business? Catching up on old times? Old times, huh? Hey, my no-no always used to tell me, never forget that you're a Siracusan. You don't look Siracusan to me. Me? Siracusan? Ha! Columbia's the future, pal. It's where the gold certs are. The young associates of the Colombian families always heard from their forefathers that they came from Siracusa, but they've never taken it seriously. Your roots will always be in Siracusa. It's the crusty old fossils who say stuff like that. Columbia is the land of pioneers, roots. We don't need roots. That's right, Hick. You'd better tell us where your paisani are, if you don't want any accidents happening to your little shop here. They're in that bar across the street. You got a good head on your shoulders, pal. Don't see a whole lot of wolf pups out there as bright as you. To be a pioneer is to invite chaos, and the Colombian families gradually lost the order they should have had amidst this chaos. But for Siracusa, order stands taller than the law itself. Car wash worker zones out, their noise and commotion, turning and slowly opening a cabinet to produce a tool that he is all too familiar with. It is heavy and sharp, having been meticulously polished by the car wash worker. The glint reflecting off its blade reminds one of the moonlight in Siracusa. Then he slowly walks toward the complacent idiots who have their backs turned to him, like a car wash worker who only wants to scrub the floors before opening up a shop, like a Siracusan. He said, "Nope." Stab. Texas's eyes snap wide open. As her vision comes into focus in the darkness, she sees a poster Xuzie put up against her will. Her hands transmit to her the sensation of the down quilt the croissant sold to her at a special price when the season changed. Sora's sleep-assisting CD is still playing. All this lets her breathe a sigh of relief. She understands full well that the dream had never really happened, that the Colombian family never had a chance to pester the Siracusan guest. As for the car wash worker, she's only met him once. A dream that has no meaning except a reminder of her Siracusan roots. Since coming to Lungmen, she hasn't had this dream in a long while. So why have it now? She unconsciously wants to see the night outside her window. The moonlight still shines bright and clean. Myriad colors still dot Lungmen's nightscape. But within it, all is an existence utterly incompatible with everything around it. Outside her window on a rooftop beneath the moon, a wolf is staring directly at her. If everything surrounding it can be called the creations of civilization, then this wolf is undoubtedly a symbol of the wild wastes. He does not belong here and never should have appeared here, but he still appeared in all his majesty, his figure seeming to tower above everything else around him. Come, it is time for you to fulfill your end of the deal. In an instant, Texas understands why she had the dream. Dreams are not necessarily connected to reality, but dreams often are omens, and without a doubt, the dream she had tonight portends that her past has come knocking on her door. Oh, is that cool? Ooh, Zaro. Noisy, excessive, corrupt. How far you've fallen to become indolent in a place like this. But at least you thought of killing me the moment you saw me. That means my trip was still worthwhile. I can give it a serious try, Zaro. It won't make a difference in the end, same as 7 years ago. You should feel grateful, last wolf of Familia, Texas. Our deal still stands, which means you still have a chance to pay off your debt. The Wastelands have always played fair. Stop calling yourself the Wastelands. It has never cut deals with anyone, Signora De Lupi. Heh, maybe you've just never gotten close enough. Stop talking in circles. What do you want me to do? Follow me back to Siracusa. You are to assist my Fang. Fang. Fulfill his request and consider your debt paid in full. At that time, whether you choose to return here or remain there is no longer any of my concern. Fine. If it ain't Zaro, Lord of the Wolves, think you could just show up in my city, take my people, leave like it ain't no thing? Your brain overgrown with weeds now too? Ah, my bad. Forgot you ain't even got a brain. Emperor, my wretched kin. How long has it been since we last met? 200 years? 3? What is this revolting outfit of yours? What are you dressing up as? What happened to your sheet music or your conductor's baton? Have you finally tired of pretentiously tickling the ivories atop the lofty spires of Litanian? Mind your business, Zaro. As if I'd remember the last time we met was. Wish there wasn't a last time. Hope there won't be a next time, and that I forget about this time. I don't understand. You could choose to step aside and then forget all about it. Did I stutter? Get your sorry ass back to Siracusa. Leave my people out of your shit. I don't even get how your brothers and sisters still let you and your pups play your little mob game in Siracusa. There are many paths to victory. This was my decision, and it has nothing to do with you. Y'all had some kind of insane deal there, right? Like y'all keep to your own turf. Keep out of human business. Take a good look at yourself. You hardly look any different from the humans, and you're telling me to stay out of human affairs. What are these toys of yours to the glaciers that have not melted for tens of thousands of years? What are these ridiculous black glasses of yours compared to the lasting darkness of the polar nights? And then your so-called music. What need is there for music when you already have the coldest wind? Throw all of this away, Emperor. You are forgetting what you truly are. What we truly are. You made up those rules. That ain't for me. My life ain't your business, Wolfie. They came up with something new. I decided I liked it, and I made it mine. Simple as that. We've always belonged to the wasteland. You showed your ass calling this land the wastes. Ain't nothing wasted here to me. Think you're any different from the humans rolling around the forests of Siracusa? Didn't get you all hungry for power. You never thought about where all that ambition came from. Zaro, you ain't made no progress in millennia, and on top of that, you also picked up the dumbest shit humanity's got on offer. Grr. Stow your fangs, kid. That's rude. There's no point in fighting amongst ourselves. Nothing will come of it. I'm just a messenger, here to claim what's rightfully mine. She isn't even qualified to be my pawn yet. My people are more than qualified to do anything, including gutting you. Your people. She doesn't belong to you, Emperor. Perhaps you can ask her opinion. 7 years ago, when I wanted out of Columbia, Zaro struck a deal with me. I'd be allowed to go free, and in return, I would do him one favor in the future. Without this promise, I wouldn't have made it out of Columbia alive. I know all that. Point is, you gonna leave with him? Sorry, boss, but I have to honor my word. I don't give no shit about deals and words, Zaro. She's my employee. Texas, I could, magnanimous man that I am, give you some vacation time and let you sort through all your business. Got nothing to do with me. I mean, Penguin Logistics employees are free, even if they're in Siracusa. And you, Zaro, if you dare get up in her business, I'll show up at that stinking lair and rip them tail hairs out of you and every one of your siblings. Make myself a nice broom. Ha! Child of Texas. You may make preparations as you see fit or say your goodbyes. No need. Sorry, boss, but I'm going to need a favor. Tell the girls I'm going to be gone for a while, but I'll be back soon. I'll just tell them you were crying about wanting to head back to Siracusa and you took a long vacation. I tried to stop you, but you wouldn't take no for an answer. Then I'll have to buy them some extra souvenirs and apologize to them when I get back. Her sweet smile. If you have nothing to say, then let's be off. Fine. And so, a woman and a wolf walk westward, soon disappearing into the night. Streetlights flicker on and off. Volsini alleyway. Did I make it? Heh, good question. When did you? You're pretty lucky. Right when I took the shot, you bent over to pick up the keys that had fallen under the seat. Who are you people? What did I ever do to you? Did I make it? Ha! Did I make it? Can you make it away from air and water? Can a Siracusan ever get away from the rainy season? Could ever get away from them, or well, from us? What familia do you belong to? I've done everything right. No gambling, no debt. I'm just an ordinary clerk at Il Ministero di Lavori Pubblici. Oh, Il Ministero di Lavori Pubblici. That's a hot topic around Volsini these days. I know the son of Don Baloney. That's enough talking. That's my chance. Ugh, what a pain in the ass. Little trick won't save you. The rain's not letting up, huh? Want a bite? After all, this is Siracusa, the land of pizza. I've ordered all the flavors the gourmet guide said were worth ordering. Oh god, what are they doing there? At least one of us is in a good mood. You didn't forget why we came here, did you? Not like worrying about it's gonna do any good. And we've been asking around, those guys in black suits don't ever say anything. All I heard is that some family by the name of Baloney recently welcomed a guest. I'm gonna head over there and take a look around their place. That scene, though. Tisk tisk. The foul beasts are probably gonna make a detour once they pass by. Ain't that all the more reason to worry? Let me tell you, our girl's from here. With her skills, she won't get in any big trouble. Plus, we came here with the expectation that we might not see her face to face at all. Isn't that right, Sora? Mm-hmm. Plays and operas are a very robust scene in Siracusa. Whether you're in a tavern or in a theater, there are always many performances to be found. Siracusans from all walks of life regard opera as a way to unwind. They say even the mobsters are no exception. So I thought, maybe if I could get into a troupe. Gotta hand it to you, Sora. Quick thinking they're nabbing this chance through Monster Siren Records. Coincidentally, my agent just asked if I was interested in going to Siracusa to develop my career, which I turned down because I didn't want to leave Lungmen. But even so, ain't Siracusan opera any different from your usual style? It sure is. Both the choreography and the singing will pose major challenges. Plus, we're also talking about a completely different kind of stage. But after seeing my performance, the director said he'd be willing to give me a shot. If MSR didn't already have a contract ready to go, I would have had to keep waiting. Are you sure I'm not going to wake up to find you also disappeared without saying goodbye? That's not going to happen. I'm not even brave enough for that. Speaking of which, ain't it time for your meetup with the troupe's artistic director? You always had these meetings in some kind of company building or theater before. Crazy you wanted to meet you in a restaurant like this. It's not completely unheard of. Some people prefer to chat in a more natural everyday setting to get a better feel for the actor. An everyday setting, huh? Popping up in Siracusa like this doesn't feel natural to me in the least, but all I do is hope it goes well. When we get back to Longman, Texas is paying for 3 months of boba tea. No, make that 6. Only 6? We've got a chance to make her pay through the nose. Wow, the director actually showed. Help me! It's the clerk. Huh? What's going on? Look out! Spectacular. I got some great shots from the rehearsal just now. They used that character as the mayor or whatever for Davistown in the Jessica Alter event. That was pretty cool. I love seeing how they reuse certain plain character models like that. How was it, Signor Bernardo? Not bad. Really? But not good either. You're too eager to perform, Lena. It's as if you want 10 critics to see 12 different emotions in one of your performances. That's too excessive for my needs. Just give me one thing, as long as it's yours. Your own grief, your own passion, your own desolation. It's not easy being an actor. You're not a prop on the stage, Lena. And you should not settle for being a prop either. Si, senor. Director, the guests from Lungmen have arrived. Very good. Are you sure you need to meet with her personally, though? She's just a small-time songstress from Lungmen. I can handle this myself. Loreno, I know that you, as Lena's uncle, have always sought to impede her potential competitors, but you could try to hide it a little better. Wait, I'm not trying to hide anything from you at all. It's just that we don't have a particularly deep relationship with Monster Siren Records. Rather, there isn't a single theater troupe in Siracusa who thinks highly of this agency trying so desperately to wriggle into our market. But you went beyond expectations in agreeing to the deal to bring one of their singers over to study at our theater. Both logically and emotionally, this doesn't benefit us at all. And now you're even going to meet her personally. It's as you said, Loreno. She is just a small-time songstress from Lungmen with nothing inherently deserving of my attention. But, as you will soon see, the from Lungmen part holds a special significance. Are you talking about... Thank you. Tell him don't go overboard. It's our life, isn't it? Uh-oh. Bang, bang. Lots of gunshots. These guys are actually using explosive bolts? Are you alright, sir? I'm fine for now, but you people, you're foreigners, right? You shouldn't have helped me. Getting mixed up with those people is a good way to get killed. Am I the only one who thinks this mighty strange that there's a murder in broad daylight and nobody seems to care? Grr, these guys are tougher to deal with than the gangsters back in Lungmen. You're only making trouble for yourself, Straniera. What a coincidence. The thing I'm second best at is making trouble for myself. By the way, the thing I'm best at is getting rid of those troubles. You're in Siracusa now. So what? So that means you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. Watch out, Exusier. Uh-oh. Attacking civilians, which familia are you with? Have you forgotten our ironclad laws? Ugh, talk about bad timing. No wonder this little runt kept running towards Lavinia's commute. Let's get out of here. Get back here. Judge Lavinia. I remember you. You're from Il Ministero de Lavori Pubblici. What's going on? I have no idea. I was just heading to work. And the way those guys were dressed up, they should have known the rules. Then why? I'm just a law-abiding citizen. I've never gotten mixed up with any of the familiae. Why? Why are they still... Your Honor, don't you think there's been something weird in the air recently? Are the three of you all right? I'm fine, but those guys ended up getting away. Heh, I never expected Siracusa's customs to be so cutthroat. Foreigners in Siracusa should try to be a bit more careful. And who might you be? I'm Lavinia, a judge for this city. What about you? You call me Exusier, and she's Sora. And that's Croissant over there. First of all, I would like to thank you. Your brave actions saved the life of this innocent civilian. Need my help chasing those guys down? Don't bother. They know this city like the backs of their hands, and you won't ever catch them. I'll sort out the rest. Where are you from? We came from Lungmen. Might as well give you our business card. If you ever need something delivered, you give us a holler. Lungmen? Penguin Logistics? You're with a logistics company? That's right. No matter what it is, a tiny coin or a big old burden beast, we can take it wherever you need to go. Day or night, rain or shine, the customer's satisfaction is our mission. Oh, assuming you have the money to pay, that is. Is our pitch that funny? No, I'm sorry. I've just been a bit on edge lately. Did you come to Volsini to expand your business or just for pleasure? Either way, you chose an unfortunate time to come. Well, actually, we came looking for a friend of ours. Lavinia, were you about to enjoy a grand celebration? What better time could there be to visit? A new city is about to be born in Volsini, the greatest event in the history of Siracusa. Should they be lucky enough, our new friends may get to witness its birth. Bernardo? Don't worry. These are my guests. Yours, or your troops? Which would you prefer? I hope it's neither. That's too bad then, because the answer is both. It's not too late to go back to Lungmen right now, Exusier. What do you mean? You always get the wrong idea about me, Lavinia. I wasn't even the one who invited them here. Signorina Sora chose to come to Volsini herself, isn't that right? Yes, sir. In fact, I'm grateful to Campagna dell'Abla, I think that's how you pronounce that, for being willing to take me. All right then, since you're Signor Bernardo's guests, you won't have to worry much about your safety at the very least. Just please contact me if you need something, all right? My number's right here. Can do. Now then, I need to ask this gentleman about what happened to him. The rest of you, enjoy your chat. Bernardo, oh. Wait, are you the Bernardo? Artistic director of Campagna dell'Abla? That I am. Oh wow, you came all the way out here just for us? I've always chosen actors myself. After all, you know what they say about wanting a job done well. And who might these two be? They're my good friends who came to Siracusa with me. We're her bodyguards too. The name's Croissant. And you could just call me Exusier. Very interesting names. Shouldn't we be moseying along? There's no need. Familia associates don't cause trouble without reason. I'm not sure what kind of mess that clerk got himself into, but Siracusa is not without its own order. This ain't your typical order now, is it? You think so? I got the impression our Sancta friend here would be quite familiar with it. Nah, even in Laterano, something like that would have been considered straight-up assault. Huh. The Senora Siracusa always says she brought guns and order from Laterano. The reality seems to be a bit different. Customs here might be a bit too extreme for outsiders, but if you plan on spending any amount of time here, I want to get used to them as quickly as possible. Setting aside the little intermezzo we just enjoyed, Senora Sora, is now a good time to discuss your new job. Oh, of course! I'm assuming you haven't read the script yet, correct? This is our troop's latest masterpiece, and your role is found within. It would be an honor. We haven't finalized the title of this production yet. The name of our creative team is chosen for this tragedy in 3 acts is The Morte di Texas. What did you just say? Oh, seems my play has already captured your attention. Let's take our time and talk. All right, almost forgotten all the commotion just now. Benvenuti in Siracusa, miei amici. Amici? Because it was an E at the end. Grr, just had to be Lavinia again. Rotten luck. And there was that Sancta, too. Why the hell would a bunch of foreigners just show up in Siracusa at a time like this? Plus, she had some real skills, too. I think it might be true that Signora Cecilia's guy might already be in Volsini. Who cares? Let's head back and then... Who's there? Relax, Pisani. I ain't your enemy. Who do you belong to? If I had to say, I suppose I'd call myself a Sicilian. A Sicilian? Stop joking around. They got rubbed out ages ago. Is that so? I don't have the energy to waste my breath on you, so get out of my way unless you got a death wish. I'm just here to remind you there are people from the court waiting in ambush over there. Steer clear if you know what's good for you. What? Who the hell are you? I never heard anything. I never heard nothing about nobody coming to talk to us. Of course you didn't, because I didn't come here to talk to you. Brings me to the second thing I'd like to remind you of. The Sicilians may have been erased, but they didn't die out. What? By the way, we came here to silence you. You talk too damn much. Hope Lappland's not rubbing off on you. That we can agree on. Hey, it's me. We're done here. Stay in place and wait? You're the boss. Ain't like I got a choice. Looks like we chose the wrong day to come back. Why do you say that? Rain. I hate the rain more than anything. It's the rainy season. I already told you before we came back. Now that you don't have your little brother trimming your fur for you, I think you ought to go cross the street right now and get it all shaved off. Watch it or that mop's gonna come right off your scalp. I actually was considering it myself, but my barber talked me out of it. Said my head's lopsided, I'd look ugly. Okay, I kinda like these two. I like that banner. But I gotta hand it to you for finding a way to make money so quick. Looks like you spent too much time in Lungman, Capone. That Lin fella. Sure, he's got a few tricks up his sleeve and all, but doesn't Lungman's governor have him pinned down pretty good? This is Siracusa, and here the Familiae run the show. It's easy to find an odd job or two. So many Familiae running around, everyone always needs some capable hands. Alright, maybe I was in Lungman too long, but what really surprises me is how they're still running the same playbook. They used to when I left Siracusa. Familiae control everything in this city from the shadows, but they never walk out onto the stage. Why do you say that? A new city is about to be born. On the surface, they're in the middle of voting for its administrator. The truth is, the Familiae backing these people are constantly jockeying for power. What the hell are you even talking about? If we didn't lose our own city, we'd be doing the exact same thing. I've been away from Siracusa for a long time, Gambino. Was it 8 years? 10? It's a drop in the bucket. It's gonna change in that amount of time. It's long enough to change the way I see a lot of things, but clearly not enough for your short-sightedness. You know, it ain't like we came to no peace agreement, you and me. Our work just isn't done yet. You're so eager to die, I'm glad to send you on your way. How can you be sure that you won't be the one dying? Huh. What? How'd you know? Bartender, get your ass out here. Bartender? Ooh, he's neat looking. I didn't think the two of you were on such good terms. Looks like your patron ain't as reliable as you thought, Gambino. Let's be clear here. As long as the two of you complete my commission, I naturally will not mistreat you. However, the commission is not yet complete. You think you can double-cross me? Double-cross? If this is your idea of a double-cross, then I recommend you open your eyes a bit wider, Sicilian. So where does that put us now? I need to see that you two are capable of right here, right now. It's that simple. As long as you walk out of this alley alive, you pass. I thought you were going to say you'd take both of us at once. Ha! My brothers would rake me over the coals for that one. You weren't going to let anyone pass in the first place or something like that. You sure talk a big game. I'm looking forward to meeting both of you again. Pretentious bastard thinks he's human just because he got used to the city. Heh, it's been a while since I've heard that. It's like we don't have a choice. I'll make sure he figures out who doesn't have a choice. Heh, if I knew I'd be fighting for my life back in Siracusa, I would have just stayed home. Was that your call to make? Alright, fine. If we didn't show up, we probably would have been turned into Millefoye in a day. But we followed her here, and she went and disappeared without a word. As if she was saying, I brought you back home, now you're free to do whatever you want, go fend for yourselves. The moment you start thinking that is when she pops up right in front of you, you've jinxed it. You look like you've got used to life here as well. She will come for us. Oh? Let me ask you this. In Siracusa, who's in bigger danger? A wolf who leaves the pack and goes rogue, or two strays? Well, that's new. Never thought you'd fess up to being a stray mutt. I ain't dumb enough to act like I ain't lost everything. Wish you'd admitted it sooner. Still, it's pretty obvious that she's trying to play with fire right under Senora Cecilia's nose. Right. We ain't even shit on the side of the road to that woman, and I won't stand for it. If I get the chance, I swear I'm gonna kill her. But then there's her. She doesn't give a damn about Senora Cecilia. Same Senora Cecilia who sends us a letter and gets us shaken in our boots. That wasn't enough to get her back to Siracusa, but now she's back all over. Another lone wolf. Oh. What was it that she asked again? Right. Oh, we ended up so scared of Senora Cecilia. You scared of her, Capone? Honestly, yeah. Nobody can really go against Senora Cecilia. Every Siracusa's afraid of her. So, you want to see how she dies? I want to see how she lives. Hate to admit it, but I'm with you. That's why we need to stay alive. Putting it bluntly. Another civil servant got attacked, and a Bologna associate to boot. Yeah, someone's clearly trying to pick a fight. Serves them right. If you ask me, it's probably the Rosati's behind it. Those scumbags and their bag of petty tricks. Disgusting. But a lot of the Dodici Familiae have already said they support the Bologna's taking over the new city. So what's the point of pulling a stunt like this now? Hard to say. The Don's son, Leontuzzo, is now a secretary at il Ministero dei Lavori Pubblici. If someone has the skills to take him out along with the Il Ministro himself, wouldn't that blow things wide open again? Considering that Runt's dumb enough to set his own familia aside to be a yes-man for the government. You say that, but are you forgetting how many associates ate shit over the last 2 years because they underestimated him? Oh, I almost forgot. You were one of them. I'll admit, the Runt's got some talent, but that's only because the Don's been sitting on his hands the whole time. Once he decides to call the shots... That's true. Dawn hasn't said anything yet. The Bologna's can't name themselves the winners so soon. Enough. The entire room suddenly falls silent, the clamor and chatter from before seeming like nothing more than an illusion. I don't care what you believe deep down, but during this tense time, you don't make light of the situation, and you don't do anything rash. Is that Lappland's dad. I know what you're all thinking. I get it. The Dodici Familiae. Only our Familia Saluzzo hasn't yet placed our wager. Yes, it is. It is still too soon for that. Yes, Don Alberto. Since time immemorial, Familia Saluzzo has always been like this. One is allowed to think, but not to advise, because Alberto Saluzzo calls all the shots. Alberto never allows anyone to question his decisions. Nobody in the Familia finds this unusual. They say that the Saluzzo's strength comes from the fact that Alberto is always correct. Hi, Pookie. Everyone's here. My, now that I look closely, I see a lot of old faces. I'm not even going to try her accent because I've tried that a little bit and talking. Yeah, I'm shitty with that. Anyways, That is not to say that there are no rebels. Only most of them have been erased from the Familia, and were never heard from again, with the exception of a white wolf named Lappland. She pulls a chair over and props her feet up on the table as if she owns the place. Who let her in? Don Alberto, she killed everyone outside and forced her way in. This is a Familia meeting. Get her out of here. Signorina, Lappland, the Don has asked you to leave. I turned down Signora Cecilia's lunch invitation and rushed back like a good little foul beast, eager to return to its nest. This hideout we have in Volsini, it's kind of drab compared to the old Saluzzo stronghold. Tony, do you really have to treat me so cold? You're no longer an associate of this Familia. What do you think I came back to beg the old man to let me back into this this most distinguished Familia? Please watch your words, Signorina. Right. Even though I was so disgracefully kicked out, this Familia has always had a special place in my heart. So at this critically important time, I have chosen to come back home, at risk to my own life, ignoring my father's disdainful glare to bring back a vital piece of intelligence. Does that not move you to tears? Lappland, even if you are the Don's own daughter, you've overstepped your bounds. This is no place for you to run roughshod. Never seen that guy before. Was he new? Yes, Signorina Lappland. You're so cruel, father, to doubt the sincerity of my actions. You got my desk dirty, Lappland. Desks can be replaced, right? Let's hear it then. Your so-called vital intelligence. Texas. Same Texas you let go. That's right. Bologna brought her back. Lappland squints at her father. His homecoming has not inspired a single shred of emotion within her. She carries with her only a faint glimmer of amusement as to what might happen, or rather, what she is about to make happen, because she has been in such environments far too many times in her life. She has returned. The thoughts that inadvertently bubble up in her mind seem ever so laughable. And now, Leo Duzzo. Just call me Texas. All right, Texas. How does it feel to be back in Siracusa? Not too great. I can imagine. If I were you, I wouldn't feel too great about suddenly being forced to go somewhere, even if it was my homeland. Though, if this isn't too much to ask, I'd like you to imagine this as well. Your father suddenly forced a bodyguard onto you, and she's a whole lot stronger than you. That's not a great feeling either. Understandable. That's what I wanted to hear. Unfortunately, I don't have the power to let you leave. All I can say is, I hope we can both do what we need to do. Go ahead and get changed. We had this outfit custom tailored in old Familia Texas style. I hope you can be my bodyguard tonight and accompany me to the banquet. Sure. Beside Texas lies the well-pressed suit that Familia Bologna is prepared for her. She looks toward the tightly shut door. She knows what she is supposed to do, to fulfill Zaro's contract. She needs to exit this room, kill a few irrelevant people, create some chaos, and then, finally, kill a few important people. Relevant or not, or important, this is the attitude Siracusans have toward life. She, too, used to think like that. Even now that she has learned to see the world through a different lens, as soon as she stepped back into this city, she quickly realized that these practices were still ever so familiar to her. She has returned. The thoughts that inadvertently bubble up in her mind fill her with disgust. What an intro. There was a lot to take in there. A lot of cool stuff, though. So, with that being said, that is our first stop, our first start. So now, we move to Citanova Main Street. And that is going to be our first official mission. Let's go ahead and jump into IS-1. See how well we can do here. See if I can remember my voices from yesterday when I started this. Welcome to Teatro di Milano, signor mie. Wow, this place is breathtaking. Siracusans love to kill time here to the accompaniment of music and performance. After all, when reality is monotonous and difficult to change, people naturally need a place to indulge their fantasies. Or to equate their blood-stained business dealings with the legendary exploits of the heroes on stage to obtain a sense of moral satisfaction. Wow, you really don't pull any punches, huh? Of course not. In this line of work, we must be clear-eyed about our own profession, no? Your friends over there seem to have been on their guard from the very beginning. I don't mean no disrespect, Mr. Director, but the way I heard it, he was calling that play you're rehearsing La Mort de Texas. The Death of Texas? It must be the crappiest joke I've ever heard. You seem to be well acquainted with that name. It's fairly unusual among foreigners. Siracusans rarely bring it up in the first place, and the mafiosi here are even more secretive about it. The story of Familia Texas is one that every mafioso must always keep in their hearts. It is a cautionary tale. A warning? Let's talk about the script itself first. There are countless works based on the deeds of Familia Texas, but not a single one dares to actually print the name. Playwrights are more inclined to reimagine or adapt with the help of illusion or parody. After all, it is against their interests to invite trouble. However, times change, and today's audience finds true history far more salient than fairy tales with falsified names. Wouldn't you agree? As such, a remarkable individual has brought this script before us. It's a play in 3 acts. The first act harkens back to the era when Colombia was first established, with many a Siracusan familia yearning for this undeveloped land. Consequently, the familiae each dispatched their own teams, one after another, joining the ranks of Colombia's first pioneers. In an era when chaos and opportunity came hand in hand, some were swallowed by the tides of the time, while others found it in their promised land. The cream of the crop among them was Salvador Texas, a man who would later establish his very own era. I know he means the surname and not her, but still. So, Texas is one of the Siracusa's families? To be precise, they were a familia that originated in Siracusa, but took root in Colombia. Such familiae are hardly unusual over there. From beginning to end, though, old Salvador saw himself as a Siracusan through and through, and the Siracusans in turn rewarded him for his perseverance, always affording him a Siracusan's respect. The Siracusans? The second act chronicles some of the most praiseworthy episodes from his storied struggles in Colombia. Siracusans can be found everywhere in the shadows of Colombia's history, and it is precisely amidst that tide that Salvador gathered his familia. In truth, the contents of this act are the best known of the 3. Even across various retellings, they're almost always the same. Accounts of the Siracusan in Colombia can be found in over a dozen versions in any local bookstore, mostly romance novels borrowing the phantom of his name, so to speak. Perhaps there may be even a few words of truth among them. If you're interested in that, I can point you to some of the less outrageous ones. Ooh, I'd appreciate that. Think nothing of it. Now, on to the third act. This is the one that can change most dramatically between versions. Because it deals with the fall of the Texas family? That's right. Outsiders only know of one thing for certain about the fall of Familia Texas, and that is that Salvador was murdered by his own son, Giuseppe, who later declared that Familia Texas would break away from Siracusa's Familia system. This act angered Signora Cecilia and incurred her retribution. In a single night, the Texas name was wiped from existence. The entire Texas family disappeared in a single night? At least that's what every Siracusan believes. As far as what exactly happened during the liquidation of Familia Texas, nobody except the parties involved have any way of knowing. Excuse me, how come there are only scripts for the first 2 acts here? That is because the 3rd act is not yet finished. Each playwright will invariably imagine their own version of how this process unfolded, arriving at completely different developments and outcomes. In that regard, our playwright seems to have reached an impasse. That said, the contents of the first 2 acts are already exceptional on their own merits, so I purchased the work without hesitation. Mr. Bernardo, is it possible that one of the heirs of the Texas family survived the chaos? Like, maybe she managed to leave Colombia and escape to a different city? For example, Longman? Longman. I recall that's where you ladies hail from. Apparently, Salvador did not have a particularly amicable relationship with his son, but he doted on his granddaughter, even sending her back to Siracusa, where she was fostered by Familia Saluzzo for several years. Nobody has seen or heard from her since the liquidation, though. In fact, nobody can conclusively say if she was involved in this at all. Some say she's been seen in Colombia or even along the border of Siracusa. Therefore, different accounts of Familia Texas' story tend to have different endings when it comes to her. She was said to possess their iconic black hair and orange eyes. And I'm speaking hypothetically here, if the last descendant of the Texas family is still alive and has returned to Siracusan soil once again, what would happen then? Certainly a thought-provoking hypothetical, one with any number of possible developments. Playwrights tend to build their own work around such logic. Sadly, Signora Sora, reality does not abide by logic. Some say that she is the guest of a family by the name of Belloni. Some say that the Bellonis are the most powerful family in the city. Some say that she left everything behind to go there, not even giving herself a chance to say goodbye. We came all the way here to find her. Your bravery is commendable. Since you have been so frank with me, bringing secrets even I have never heard, allow me to be frank with you in turn. Familia Belloni and their guests have indeed frequented this theater, graciously offering their patronage to our humble performances. Really? Call it coincidence or call it fate. Is that not how all stories unfold? If that guest truly comes to pay us a visit, then our troupe will be sure to extend her an enthusiastic welcome. Rumor has it that she is a woman of few words, whose twin swords speak for her. Her name is Selenia Texas. Stop shoving that plate of thistles in my face, Lavinia. The seasoning here isn't as bad as you make it out to be. Give it a try. I'm going to have to pass again. Are you trying to save room in your stomach for a cold dinner with those smug mafiosi friends of yours back home who reek of cigar butts? After all, only the things that happen there have any real value. No, I just seriously can't stand artichokes. Leon, I've already lost count of the number of violent incidents that have broken out in this city over the past month. Just this morning, a citizen nearly died at this very restaurant. You're a judge. You should know better than anyone else that Siracusa was built on violence. Should there ever come a day when there aren't any unidentifiable corpses lying in the alleys, then that would be the real news. The victim was an employee of Il Ministero dei Lavori Pubblici, your Ministero. Who did it? It would appear that Leontuzzo, son of Don Belloni, deigns to inquire about the life and death of a citizen only when it concerns his career. Your Honor, Lavinia Falcone, I really do not have the energy to clap back at you right now. We can all feel that this city has been on edge recently, waiting for something big to happen. Something bigger than the Belloni's ultimate victory? If we really are allowed to take the reins, I, for one, do not intend to continue tolerating the thugs that prowl in cover of darkness. Lavinia, you're familiar with the way I do things. I sure hope so. Over 100 years ago, when Siracusa first turned from a plot land into country, Its territory consisted of 22 cities controlled by the Dodici Familiae. And to this day, that number has never changed, just like Siracusa's ironclad tradition. But finally, after so many years, our ever immutable Siracusa is about to give birth to a new nomadic city. A new nomadic city means new opportunities, new ambitions, and new hopes. You're exactly right. We are indeed at victory's doorstep. Economy, traffic, and route planning. We and our friends have already been spreading our influence through every facet of Volsini's new urban area. When that area is formally built into a new city, we will have the right to lead the future of Siracusa. At least, that's what the more optimistic associates of the Familia believe. And do you consider yourself one of those optimists? I very much hope I am. That said, the old fellas over at Grey Hall haven't reached their final decision yet. There's no future to look forward to until everyone there has formally let the chips fall. Are we looking forward to the same future, Leon? Of course. Alright, it's about time for me to head off. Before the banquet starts, I have to first pick up a certain friend. Well, look at that city. Woo-wee! Wow. This whole city is sopping wet. Sorry to keep you waiting. I was just looking around. Signorina Texas, how do you feel about the way our hometown has changed? These newfangled streets and alleys? That hardly counts as change. The way I see it, it's exactly the same as the day I left. And this outfit, I don't think it's a very good idea. Consider it your very first gift from Familia Bologna. Hopefully you'll find that our tailor has not besmirched the former glory of Familia Texas. Please be at ease and accept it. So if I'm not at ease, can I refuse? Unfortunately, I'm afraid that's not an option. Guess I'll have to find a way to ease up then. So what's my job here? It's very simple. You'll join me at tonight's banquet, where I'll proudly announce in front of everyone that I, the son of Don Bologna, have enlisted a bodyguard who's inherited the Texas name. Then you'll kill all the overzealous, power-hungry idiots there, and we'll call it a day. I'd actually be down for that. Same. If only it were ever that easy. Alright, Texas, in the 2 days I've left you in the city, I've been hard at work conditioning my mind. I've been trying to tell myself that the Texas name is worth a whole lot more than the trouble you're going to bring. That way I can gradually come to terms with the terrifyingly dangerous situation I've been dealt. Texases are already dead. Unfortunately, not everyone believes that. Maybe you're the one misreading how much influence a ruined Familia can have. Maybe. But I'm not just talking about Familia Texas here. I'm also talking about you. Once you've returned from Siracusa to Columbia, only to leave again. The way I heard it, every Familia involved in the liquidation tried to kill you on your way out, but every last one of them failed. They were all made to pay a heavy price, and it was all sparked by a single woman. You. I just worked for Penguin Logistics. I do deliveries. If you've already made your assessment of how much you're worth to Siracusa today, then let me assure you that I know at least as much as you do. First things first, Signorina. You must have some idea of what's going on in Volsini, right? A new nomadic city. Precisely. And regardless of whether you acknowledge it or not, this plan is closely tied to your family name. Or should I say, it was brought on by the fall of Familia Texas. The collapse of the Texas has dealt a mortal blow to the authority of Columbia's Familiae, and they had no choice but to return to Siracusa's embrace. They brought back Columbian technology as the price for regaining our trust. Finally, Siracusa had acquired the ability to build a new city of its own. However, the most pressing issue quickly became who would have the rights to own it, and the power struggle within Grey Hall began the moment they planned to build the city. The moment the plan to build the city was completed 5 years ago. Today, that power struggle is finally drawing to a close. As one of the oldest Familiae, we, the Bolognes, have the opportunity to seize victory. Volsini's backup core is already being retrofitted to serve as the core of the new city, and new plates are steadily being built. In a year's time, perhaps even less, it will be completed, and your mission is to help Familia Bologna turn this opportunity into a decisive victory. Sounds to me like what you needed was just a good enough hitman. But when the hitman's name is Texas, that might just change everything. Do you still remember the Rhodes name? Rhodes? Yeah, that rings a bell. After the Texases were liquidated, that familia had taken root in Colombia, lived in constant fear of becoming the next target of Senora Cecilia's wrath. That's when Familia Rhodes took the initiative to approach her themselves. They were the ones who brought back the technology to develop nomadic cities. For a brief moment, the Rhodes were poised to succeed the Texases, even managing to squeeze into one of the 12 seats of Grey Hall that no Texas had ever touched. This seems like one of those boring stories that goes nowhere. Boring and brutal. Grey Hall has always been like that, only open to the winners. And the boss of Familia Rhodes, stationed in this city, Senor Warlock, will not be content lapping up the scraps we Ballones have left behind. And here I was thinking the dour mood around here was because of the rainy season. I'll be frank with you. Volsini has not been peaceful these last few months. A few of our friends have found themselves in various kinds of accidents. Along with them, the familiae who still remain on the sidelines may end up changing their minds. There's no guarantee that the familiae that have already chosen their alliances won't betray them later. When Senora Cecilia established Grey Hall, she laid down an ironclad rule: do not kill. In other words, the familiae have a lot of leeway to do whatever they want, short of killing one another. Could have fooled me. You are still standing in front of me, after all. And so, you invited me back. You don't need me to do anything in particular. I just have to get up on the stage you've prepared and announce that I've returned. And that stage is tonight, correct? Signorina Texas, are you aware that the Fall of the Texases has been adapted into one opera after another, performed across various major theaters? In those stories, you, Selenia Texas, are always portrayed as an ignorant child, helpless in the face of your family's collapse. But right now, I can say for sure that you are anything but. I truly want to know, what exactly did you experience during that liquidation? Court Clerk. You've returned, Your Honor? Yes, is something going on? Remember how Alessia said that she recently met a pretty nice guy? The one who runs the textile shop. So you knew after all? Yes, we've crossed paths a few times back when I was investigating a case. His familia... Yes, Familia Jelly. Though they're not a particularly major familia, they still control the textile businesses for a few streets down. I heard they even have business dealings with some of the familiae that make their way in and out of Grey Hall. Yes, we know. Alessia's been talking us up for ages. She said the guy's going to bring in some of his siblings so we can all have a good time together. It's been so busy around here lately, I haven't had a chance to cut loose and unwind. Oh, Your Honor, you aren't going, right? Right, I still have some work to do. Tell them I send my regards. Okay, will do. Oh, right. Did you get a chance to look through those files? Which files? The mass disappearance on Via Como. Family of 5, remember? I've located a potential witness and I'm trying to convince him to testify. But Judge Angelo declared that case closed as of this afternoon. He said that family just moved to another city. Then he added that we still have too many things to do and shouldn't waste our time and energy on cases like this. Unless I am misremembering, I am the judge presiding over this case. Court made the decision internally yesterday. You weren't present for the meeting. Is that so? I get it. Right, this case is certainly not worthy of the time and energy. It's only 5 people after all. The husband drives a taxi around the city. The wife picks tomatoes on a farm. They have 3 children, the oldest only 13 years of age, the youngest still breastfeeding. The neighbors were reluctant to say anything, and no matter who I asked, they all said that life must move on. There was no screaming in the night, no crying by the lake, no traces of blood left on their squeaky clean floorboards. All right then. Life must move on, and they had it coming for crossing a familia, or maybe their luck was so rotten that they didn't even notice they were being targeted. After all, the familiae always say they would never attack ordinary civilians. And as for us judges, there are always more important things to attend to, right? Your Honor, I have always had the greatest respect for you. To be honest, I have no idea what an ideal judge is supposed to look like. Even though the Senora modeled our courts after Laterano's and codified our laws after Colombia's, none of us have ever seen a real one of Sancto's wandering judges, and Colombia's code of law is but an excerpt from a book. What I would rather believe is that an ideal judge should be someone as determined to uphold justice as you are. But not everyone has your talents, nor your connections with Familia Bellone. You don't have to constantly fear for your life. No, you can casually grab a light meal with the Son of the Dawn, and earlier this morning Judge Angelo received a letter sealed in a black envelope. Which Familia is behind this case? Does it make a difference as far as we're concerned? You still remember last month how Judge Siracusa was dragged by his friends to chat in a car for an entire afternoon? He hasn't been able to lift his right hand since. And there's Judge Borriello, that chubby, always jovial old lady. How long has it been since she came to work? You're right, in theory, we're supposed to represent that woman's will, but what is that even supposed to be? At least, I can't figure it out. Courage and persistence are great things to have, of course, but Judge Lavinia, please do not laugh at the wet clothes of us folks who stand beneath the eaves. After all, you have nothing to lose. Is that so? Perhaps the price I pay is the right to truly be just. Oh, the phones here don't ring very often. They usually prefer to come settle things privately. Or should I say, they look to settle things with us privately. Hello? Got it. I'll be there right away. Your Honor, you know you don't have to take everything so seriously. I know. Should I bring back some macaroni for supper? We're going to a restaurant with pretty good reviews. Appreciate it. Here we go. IS-1.
You people, I don't think I'll even remember your faces after this one.
Okay.
Anyway, let's just get started.
You'll pay for that.
Okay. We got both of those ends covered. Okay, how about that? We'll put Pookie there.
Now one step backward.
Okay. Am I gonna need medic?
There
We'll
we
medic
go.
here.
Here I am.
She's doing pretty good with this guy here. I'm gonna put Myrtle here just to cover this. Not that I'm really gonna need her, but I can use her to farm some stuff here if I need from deployment points. Use him there.
You again today, little apple. Freeze!
10 left. So far, this is fairly easy. Hold off on our deployments for now. Need 7 more.
Freeze!
Ooh.
Gather around it, guys.
There it is. Alright, we got that one. Easy enough. Didn't have to over-deploy or anything, to an extent. You don't know the kind of person he is, but I understand him. Don't you think we place too much faith in our ability to understand someone? Don't you think we're all too easily blinded by the illusions born of emotion and impulse? Salvador, he deserves to step out of Colombia's dark alleyways. My sister, he is a Siracusan, and you know nothing about how he operates. You really think he could help us get rich? They must be, they're acting out a scene, okay. All he's gonna do is get himself burnt, and we're gonna get caught in the middle. He uses his fists to protect himself, and then law and order to shackle his fists. Is that not enough for you? Get your head out of the clouds already. No, brother. Other Siracusans wear their scars like bloodstains, like a badge of honor. And bloodstains. Only he knows that blood is nothing more than blood. Interesting. So, Sora, how's my acting? Want me to give it to you straight? You bet I do. Absolutely terrible. Exusier, you've got like 0 talent for this. Oh, man. I feel like I'm pretty emotionally invested, though. Just being emotionally invested doesn't make you a good actor. But as far as the script is concerned, you're right on track. At least you aren't flubbing any of your lines. How low were your expectations? What do you think, Croissant? Pretty darn good, if you ask me. The only thing is, when you're expressing your dissatisfaction with the brother, think you could dial the emotions back a notch? So try to get the point across some other way? I can give that a try in a moment. Whoa, Croissant, since when are you an expert? Hey, don't go underestimating a gal who sits in on Sora's classes every week. Not like a certain two someones who come and go without a word. Hey, they'd never leave without saying anything. Not what I meant. But at least this proves we'll be able to find her for sure, right? Damn straight we will. Quite the unique performance. Excuse me, but are you? My name is Benthanixidios. Oh, hello, Ben something or other. Feel free to call me Ben. Sure thing, Ben. Excuse me, Mr. Ben, if there's nothing you need from us, I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to leave. We're still in the middle of rehearsal. Of course there is. Currently watching the performance, am I not? I don't think someone who's walking around eating pizza counts as watching anything. Am I not allowed to watch the performance while enjoying pizza? Well, don't theaters usually have rules against that? That's a rule imposed on people by the theater, not by the play itself. Norms have a way of making people superficially conflate these things and hold them with the same degree of reverence, even erecting false pedestals upon which to elevate them. True reverence, however, is much harder to find. Huh? Would you like a bite, young lady? You betcha! Blah, the texture's awful! It's the cheapest street pizza you can find, after all. That said, their sauce is actually quite respectable. So if you were watching our performance just now, what'd you think of? Who just does that? Of course Exusier would do that. Just take a bite of some random dude's pizza. Like, come on. Key takeaway is that there are some differences between the methods of capturing and expressing emotions that you seem to be adept at versus the demand of the opera. You are clearly used to standing in front of an audience, or should I say, you're so used to it that it makes it hard for you to stand on stage as an actor. That is not an indictment of your abilities, but it's nevertheless a trial you must overcome. Whoa, I didn't expect you to be a total pro at this. Think about it. You were the daughter of a wealthy Colombian magnate. Magnate? He, Salvador, is a vagrant from Siracusa. He's different from all the other men you've ever met. He does not care about your status, but values you for who you are. He is more indolent than anyone else, yet also cleverer. He seems destined to become the dawn of a familia, setting off in a perilous road from which there is no turning back. Tell me, young lady, is this someone you could love? Someone I could love? No, you are terrified. The more you love him, the more he terrifies you. You have no chance of keeping him. Your intuition tells you that you should escape, that he never belonged to you. You've told yourself countless times that he is just another passerby on the road of life, that even if he slips away, you can find innumerable others who are better. You know that if you chase after him, your life will become as a landship in an endless desert, unable to see your course. You don't even know if the decision you made is right or wrong. But despite all that, you still turn to your relatives and yell, "Only he knows that blood is nothing more than blood." Whoa! Ooh. So that's the feeling I've been missing this whole time. Yet you already seem to understand it well, young lady. Let's give it another run-through, Exusier. Let me get a sip of water first. You ain't get away that easy when Sora's in the zone. I'll go fetch some drinks for y'all and some grub while I'm at it. Mr. Ben, anything you huh? Well, where'd he go? He gone. He said, nope, out of there, I'm done. Taught her what she needed to. Police are finally here. Over here, ma'am. I'm not the police. I'm Lavinia, municipal judge for Volsini. Siracusa has no police, senor. What? No police? Are you a foreigner? In this country, they are the ones responsible for maintaining law and order on the streets. Who are they? I'm just visiting for some business discussions, so I don't quite understand. I'm talking about the mafiosi. You better steer clear of them. I know that much. Where's the scene of the crime? So take a look for yourself, right there behind the dumpster. 5 people. They couldn't have died more than a day ago. And their outfits, they seem to be from the same familia. Hold on. What's wrong, ma'am? I saw them. Just this morning. They attacked a public official earlier. I confronted them about it, but let them go. Why are they here, of all places? And their leader isn't with them either. I've always heard that Siracusa is a dangerous place. No, if this was a conflict between familiae, they would have made sure to clean up the scene. This doesn't make any sense. For your own safety, act as if you never saw anything. I'll handle the rest here. Yes, ma'am. Damn it, I need to get out of this godforsaken place this instant. Senora Lavinia, I didn't expect you to ever call me first. Dimitri, noticed any flamboyant hitmen around town recently? Huh? You'd have to either be incredibly brave or incredibly stupid to stick your neck out these days. You need me to throw last month's crime reports in your face? I think there's been a little misunderstanding here. Just now, 5 bodies were found in a back alley in Viale Orvieto. The scene wasn't cleaned up, which suggests it was the work of one of the familiae. And just this morning, I saw these same folks attack a public official. Now that's new and exciting. I don't care about the little power struggle between you people, but don't forget that our ironclad rule still exists. Setting aside recent developments, even in ordinary times, the fact still stands that Valsini is run by Familia Bologna, and has a judge as principled as you. Pulling a stunt like this is tantamount to spitting in our faces, and nobody would dare do something like that. Unless they're Colombian. Is that what you wanted to say? Could be anyone who doesn't give 2 shits about the rules we've set. Just keep me posted if you learn anything. I don't recall having to answer to you, Your Honor. Is this not also tantamount to spitting in the face of Familia Bologna? Fine then, I'll tell Leon. Maybe he has enough spare time on his hands. First, attacks on government officials, now hitmen out of nowhere. Is there really a connection between these? It's an interesting crime system, when you think about it. Humid air creeps inside. Lavinia's mind races with the detail of the latest case as she makes her way back to the courthouse. She knows full well what looms overhead, but everyone here, including herself, takes it for granted. At the entrance to the courthouse, Lavinia looks over at her car and cannot help but let out a sigh. It has been splashed with paint and now stands out conspicuously among its neighbors. A simple gesture of malice. These acts used to make her feel at a loss for words, but now they trouble her no more than a continuous drizzle. Of course, there is still the cost of getting the car cleaned. Eee! Sorry. Be careful out there, Signorina. The rain doesn't seem like it'll let up anytime soon. You might slip if you don't watch your step. Thanks for the reminder. But you don't seem to have an umbrella either. I'm not a fan. Rather enjoy the feeling of raindrops on my skin. And I hope you also watch your step. Are you trying to provoke her? And what makes you think that's what I'm doing? Oh, you think you've got me all figured out now, huh? Forget I said anything. I was trying to provoke her, though. She had a familiar scent on her. One I hate. Suit yourself, but you're the one who wanted us to break into Familia Bologna. And I think this is just making us more suspicious. I need to know exactly what is happening in this city, and why they wanted to bring Texas back. So what do you reckon we do? Work our way up from hired guns? Rise through the ranks until we become the Bologna's top hitmen? Well, Gambino'd probably like the sound of that, at least. That's way too inefficient. You guys need some bargaining chips, isn't that right? So where is Gambino? Already on his way to the middleman to cash in the bounty. Huh, look at that. Here in Siracusa, he's a lot better than you at climbing the ranks. I don't deny that. After spending so much time in Lungmen, I'm more shocked at how this place hasn't changed a bit. Not used to it at all. Anymore. Trust me, you'll get used to it again soon enough, just like Gambino. After all, you're a Siracusan. You're really gonna let him plant his roots down here again? Why not? There's nothing stopping you either. Be loud and proud about it. I certainly wouldn't get in your way. The more I think about it, the less I understand. What exactly are you trying to accomplish? I'm just enjoying the rainy season. What, do you not like the rain? All I know is Gambino hates the rain. So what news did you get your hands on? Want to find out? Sure, say I do. What would you have me do? You're in luck. I just happen to be in need of a driver. Come on in, Signor Istigatore. Istigatore? Something like that, I don't know how to say that. Came back alive, bartender. Your skills aren't half bad, but neither you, Gambino, nor that friend of yours who left for Lungman 8 years ago, Capone, are good enough. Don't start talking like you're some hot shit, cub. You're just like the rumor said, completely clueless as to when you should and shouldn't press your luck. Is that not how the last Sicilians lost the favor of Signora Cecilia? Look at the ones today. What can they do now except cling to their last pathetic scrap of glory? Listen up, Gambino. I don't give a shit what you and Capone came back to Siracusa to do, nor do I care who's backing you behind the scenes. All I care about is your ability, and the kind of work you can do. So what do you think of our work, then? You're not one of us, and you've got guts. Both are good. So you keep doing good work for me, and I pay you. The better you do, the more you get paid, simple as that. You want to see baloney? Once you've satisfied me, I'll arrange a meeting. Going to do such a good job that you'll regret it. You know, I don't hate the fact that you Sicilians ooze ruthlessness from your bones. It's something Siracusans could use more of these days. So let's see you try. When the time comes, you'll realize that I never regret a thing. Banquet is about to begin, and people have been lining up early to wait outside the door. Welcome, Mr. Beato. And you are? Rubio, we met at the banquet last week. Ah, I remember now. Il Segretario di Sicurezza Alimentare. Rubio, I do apologize for this porous mind of mine. Seeing as you're here, I'm sure tonight's meal is not to be missed. Hardly, good sir. But as we are expecting some rather esteemed guests tonight, I did put in a little extra effort. I see. Over here, Beato. I'll be right there. Now, if you'll excuse me. Who was that? Rubio. Segretario di Sicurezza Alimentare. What? He's actually a government official looking like that? I ignored him when I first came in because I thought he was just a doorman. Not that you're missing out on much. He might as well be a clown. Why do you say that? He's not from one of the familiae, and after a lifetime of struggle, the best position he could claw himself into was the director of that no-name departamento. After he landed the position, he went around kissing the asses of various familiae until he somehow managed to bumble his way into some renown. Nowadays, his Dipartimento pretty much caters all events in Volsini, large and small. He doesn't care about his image at all, standing in front of the door to greet the guests like that. I mean, you saw him. I see. That said, though, there's a thing or two we could learn from his sorry mug. Or rumble. Dear guy, I must congratulate you, Rubio. Oh my, what might the occasion be? Word on the street is that young Master Leontuzzo will be attending the banquet tonight. The heir to Familia Bologna, the great celebrity by Caracci's side, has never attended a banquet like this before. This is your big break, isn't it? Haha, Signor Wallach, you must have been quite pleased with the batch of steaks I sent you the other day. Otherwise, I'm sure you wouldn't be calling me just to joke around in such a manner. Things have changed, Rubio. I may be the boss of Familia Rosati in this city, and made a bit of a name for myself, but there are still plenty of rules I must abide by. For example, I have to break the bread of fellowship with a guy like you. Your support is always appreciated. It's good that we all treat each other like family. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. We have any issues, we settle them on the table. None of us enjoy spending all day fighting and killing each other. It's just a necessity born of circumstance, isn't that right? Indeed. You work too hard these days, Signor Wallach. Il Ministero dei Trasporti is headed by a Bologna, and he normally keeps his distance from me. Not much I can do to him. But Il Ministro El Commercio is a smart man. A good friend of mine. Naturally, he enjoys the Rosati's full support. The host of tonight's banquet, Carracci, Ministro di Lavori Pubblici, is an unpredictable man. Even though he's got Bologna's little pup following him around, he manages to stay on decent terms with everyone. Rubio, food safety is very important, is it not? I do hope you are also a smart man. Of course, of course. VIP arrived just now. Excuse me, I must be off. See you. Interesting. Know how strong you are, Signorina Texas. Unfortunately, I'm not a man who enjoys resorting to violence. Using force is the least efficient method. So if you were expecting to leave Siracusa after making a few heads roll on my behalf, I'm afraid you'll be quite disappointed. Just tell me what I need to do. Carracci, Volsini's Ministro di Lavori Pubblici. He is responsible for the construction of the new nomadic city plate. He's also one of our men, and I need you to protect him. A government official. I know what you're going to say. The government is just the cloth draped over Greyhall's round table. Every associate of every familia remembers Signora Cecilia's lament. There was once a time when we never took stock of the vases and cutlery sitting on our tablecloth. But right now, it's something we must pay close attention to. When the Colombians brought new things back with them, what disturbed me most was not their technology, but rather how they do things nothing like we do in Siracusa. They knew that Siracusa's officials were never going to turn their backs on the old guard of the Familiae, so they never required those officials to defer to them in public. All they needed was for them to turn a blind eye at just the right moment, or whenever it was convenient for them. And what can we do? Getting rid of those officials won't solve anything. Try to settle things with them directly? They're not stupid enough to give the game away. Despite that insignificant amount of power and influence we have here, there is nothing we can do about them. I believe that you, having spent a number of years living in Lungmen, should be more familiar with their way of doing things. To the point I almost thought I was back in Lungmen. But here in Siracusa, few people even realized how big the shockwaves from the Colombian approach might end up being. You know, Signorina Texas, when I really dove into the nitty-gritty of this approach to better understand it, the only thing I felt was admiration. The weapons they deploy are profits and negotiations, not violence and bloodshed. So you also studied their methods? Studied? No, I'll do it better than them. And Carracci is my trump card. Recently, there's been a sudden outbreak of assassinations on government officials around the city, though I haven't confirmed who's behind the attacks yet. I must ensure the safety of Ministro Carracci. He's an interesting man and prefers to walk overtaking the car. Even though I have people protecting him in secret, I do not feel at ease. Now, I've already given them a heads up. Go bring him over to the banquet venue. Target is crossing the street right ahead. There should be at least 7 mafiosi covering him from the shadows. It seems like there won't be any major issues. Would you look at that? Didn't I just say something good was about to happen? Texas, care for some millefoie? Oh god. She always shows up right at that perfect minute.
But we still can't let our guard down.
Anyways. Okay, we got lots of stuff out of that. Interesting. Alright, start exploring with Enzion. Okay, Selenia, Texas. Lone wolf who returned to the rainy city. Nothing has changed in 7 years. Perhaps finishing up the tasks she was given one by one will let her leave sooner. Start exploring with Azione Solo. Okay. So that's this here. Okay. Some stories are still unfolding in corners you aren't aware of. Select the perspective you'd like to experience. Oh, look at all these. Okay, so Texas, Lavinia, Vigil, or Leontuzzo. There's Lappland. I don't know them. There's Sora. This looks like that Dimitri guy. That looks like the model from that car wash guy, and then somebody else yet. So there's 1, 2, 3 that I don't know for sure. 2 I might know. That's interesting. Okay, wrathful yet calm. Oh, so is this how we get Vigil for free? Okay. Wrathful yet calm, stagnant yet ever coursing, the lone wolf who returned to the rainy city. Nothing has changed in 7 years. Perhaps finishing up the task she was... Okay, we already read that. So, special rewards, ordinary rewards. Okay. Beautiful. Alright. Maybe I'll find a restaurant I like before I get to work. Okay. Hurry up, the fighting started. You over there, if you're not gonna run, at least get out of the way. This place hasn't changed one bit. Bystanders disperse in a panic, but Texas remains seated at the table, looking at the pizza that was just brought out to her. That woman over there, don't forget to take care of her too. Didn't you say killing civilians is too messy? Doesn't count if they're asking to die. What the hell's going on? How's she this strong? Yeah, just get the job done first and we'll worry about her later. The food's totally ruined now. Somebody hiding under the bar. Looks like the shopkeeper's kid. No loose ends. Wanna go back for her? Wait. Hold off on that for now. I didn't get a good look before, but the color of her hair and eyes... We'd better figure out who she is. Waiters show up only to bring out the menu and serve the food. They know that some conversations are best not overheard. Okay. Radio. A radio that suddenly appeared by the side of the road, currently broadcasting opera music. The person who received it was in such a hurry, she did not realize she accidentally smashed one of its corners. Okay, Citanova Main Street. Ooh, okay, so these are additional stages? Dude, no way, okay. Mafiosi start fighting in a pizza parlor. Protect the patrons as they try to make an exit. Texas still detests it all, but there is still little she could do. Clear this stage with a 3-star rating while protecting at least one civilian from being defeated. So we got protection stuff, okay. Let's give it a try.
Please
wait, didn't I just play this?
While I'm gone. I won't sleep on the job. I'll show them what I can do. I'll show them what I can do.
Let's put Pookie there. Alright, so we got one through. Oh, do these guys... I'm assuming they have some sort of a health meter. They don't have anything showing there, so is it like one hit kill, or... I guess we could find out. So I got my medic deployed.
You'll pay for that.
Her click like this, because she can hit them, and whoever this is that comes around here, she'd be able to hit them both. Help out. Dual lane. I like that. Okay, so all 3 of those civilians are gone. So does that mean we rescued them all? I'm not gonna put her out there. Phew. Oh. Okay, so we did. We rescued them all. Let's go.
Weaklings.
Weaklings. Yes. Absolutely so, Texas. Okay. Objective complete. Tap the objective to continue. Maybe I'll find a recompense. Oh, so, okay, so rewards. Exploration 1 of 7. Feeling a bit restless. Maybe I should head to the park to cool down. Oh, you're the lady who saved my child. I'm delighted to see you again. You're in a good mood. Haha, sure am. That judge over there just told me she knows which familia is responsible for the mess, and even promised that she'd get them to compensate me for my losses. Compensate you? Sounds strange, doesn't it? Judges can't usually do anything to those big familiae. Go back up. There we go. This judge is different. She'll pull through for us, and because of her connections with the Bellones, the other familiae don't dare lay a finger on her. Having a judge like her around means the world to us. Texas feels a familiar exhaustion rise up inside her, and she knows exactly where it is coming from. For a moment, she was worried about the judge's safety and well-being, but this worry quickly proves to be unnecessary. Buildings along Citanova's main street boast magnificent architecture. Their sharp edges and corners are a bit too sharp for some familiae's tastes. Okay. Shady Park. Here, what we'll do is we'll skip to the end so we can go back to read it from the beginning. Good place to enjoy the breeze, however the residents don't get too close to the tree-shaded areas, not since the body of a sanitation worker was found there. I even gave my lunch money to the boss. Guess I'll look around somewhere else. What's this? An exquisite poster is plastered to the wall and the words printed on it are extremely conspicuous. The Morte de Texas. Texas stands beneath the wall and looks up. The first time since she returned to Siracusa, she feels like laughing. Received La Morte de Texas promotional flyer. This is the first time a familia's name has formally appeared in the title of the work of art. The people who awaited it did not realize what it signified, that the winds of change had begun to blow. Okay, another recompense. Explore more areas first. Okay, so I can't do anything else yet. Okay, let's back off. Ooh, yeah, I got this. Collect that. That's actually one thing. Do I have enough now? Yes, I do. Let's get these so I can upgrade my Texas. Let's get her E1'd. Oop, gotta do this. Ooh, wait. Okay, so I need 2 iron and 3 polyester. Okay. Let's see if those are in there. If those are in there too, I'll grab them quick.
Ciao, Doctor.
Just because. Quick and easy. I can E1 her and start bumping her up in strength. Oh yes, there's iron. I needed 2 of those. Now I need the polyester, which they don't have in there, but I could probably get that out of the store. So let me try that quick. All right, so we got everything I need now. Let's go ahead and elite one by Texas.
This will work as payment.
Oh. We'll pay you a lot more than that, sweetheart. Don't you worry. We're gonna bump you up with this. You are so very welcome. Let's increase your skill. Ooh, I need a locks of coal. And I saw where I could get them somewhere too. Let me check the store, because if that's the case, I'm finishing her skill off. Here we go. Locks of coal. Got one. Perfect. Operator. No. No, I didn't mean to click on Pookie. There you are. Maxed out her skill rank. Beautiful. All right. So now, okay, so I'm gonna need more of these. I'm gonna need polyester lumps, which I think I saw those in the shop too, but I can also make those once I unlock the recipe. Unlock and upgrade level 3 workshop. Okay. And then I need 3 of the dual chips. We got the money. We've got to work on the level, of course, but we're in good shape. We're in good shape. So, and through the event, we'll get a bunch more of the battle records and things that'll help us.
Doctor,
So,
if the candle goes out.
Ciao, Doctor.
let's go ahead and continue. And at the end, we'll do some polls and stuff here. Actually, let's grab these real quick and see where it gets us. Perfect, I got them all except for 12 of those. Let's see how much farther we can bump her up. Ooh, 56.
Thanks.
Very good. Very, very good. All right, Now, let's continue. So this looks to be... It's a tutorial. Okay, so is this the tutorial for what we're going to need for... Excuse me. For, thing here. Preserve op team A4 in position. The enemy will be attacking in seconds. Get them ready. Or get ready. Okay. Okay, so now we've got those dudes. The enemy is here. Wait, they're local civilians from Volsini. That's bold. They don't look apprehensive at all. Are they used to this? This place is dangerous. We can't just leave them alone. Protect them to the best of your abilities. Okay. So this is just a tutorial on how to protect them. Well, we already just kind of went through that, so I guess I played that mission before I was supposed to. Hey, it was unlocked, so why not? Whenever we defeat an enemy, the gaze of the others seems to get more venomous. Ooh, there's a meter here. Okay. Apparently the Familia keep a book on blood debts owed by their enemies. The longer you fight them, the more you owe. Protecting the people slowly reduces the Familia's hatred, but allowing a civilian to die will have severe consequences for your debt. Be careful. Okay. Okay, those guys are sniping that one. He's gonna die, because he's just running around. Okay. Look out! Oh, damn it! Warning, enemy behavior has changed. Support is being called in. Hang in there. Hey guys, can you hear me? These guys go into a frenzy when their account book is full. They even call in some interesting people to join in. But that's the worst of it. Things will get easier after overcoming this hump. You can do it, can't you? I shouldn't have to show up personally. Okay. Intriguing. Alright, let's put Steward there. Let's put her here. We're gonna put Pookie there. She just ara. She just literally ara-ara'd. Ara-ara.
Gotcha.
Oh, so you can't hurt him till he's blocked. That's intriguing. Right, he's frozen up. We used Red's skill there. That helps. Everybody pound in on him. Red's down though, but she's quick redeploy, so we'll be all right.
Down you go.
Alright, so they're not gonna get through when I use her skill. He's done, so it's just them. They're toast. Look at Pookie using her awesome skills. Just dominating the battlefield. She's amazing. Just saying.
Slice them up like a millefeuille. How do you like it?
They spell it two different ways. Anyways, it's spelled one way there and it's spelled the other way in the story. Okay, so next is IS-2. Let's look at the map here. How's the map working? Okay, so that's... We just kind of follow the trail. That's interesting. There's no way to really zoom out here, but we have Citanova Town Hall perimeters, Courthouse perimeters, Theater perimeters, Broadcast Tower perimeters, Citanova Control Tower perimeters, Quartiere Bologna, Quartiere Saluzza, ooh, okay, Quartiere Rosati. That's a cool map. I'd love to see if I could get a printout of this, like, to hang up on my wall. That would kick ass. Right, let's get ready to do IS-2. Just had me a sandwich, so I'm nice and refueled. Texas. Salvador, Texas. What am I to think of you? Should I trust you? You are a Siracusan. They all say that violence and ambition runs in your veins. That you and your familia will devour this place. No, all of Colombia. Is the man I see before my eyes truly you? So refined, so upstanding. But I've also seen the way you throw a punch, the blood dripping between your fingers until your opponent is not able to utter even a single curse. Which is the real you, Salvador? Might there come a day when you'd realize that your two sides are as oil and water? Might there come a day when the trail of blood in your wake catches up to you? And when that day comes, what would you choose? When that day comes, would you remain by my side? Brilliant performance, Signorina. Without a doubt, you've surpassed my expectations yet again. Actually, it's all thanks to someone in the troupe called Mr. Ben. I would never have been able to adjust so quickly without his advice. Ben? Not sure we have anyone by that name at Teatro di Milano. He was really knowledgeable about theater and gave me some extremely helpful pointers, so I figured he was an important person here. Sorry, no one comes to mind. That said, there are plenty of enthusiasts around town who are very well versed in plays. Perhaps he was one of them. More importantly, I saw something on your resume that had me a bit curious. Would you mind clarifying something for me? Sure, ask away. You've been pursuing a pop idol career in Lungmen. We've been collaborating with the city more and more recently, but our acting industries have often been at odds with each other due to their different backgrounds. But even with that caveat in mind, clips from your audition sent over by Monster Siren Records convinced me that you had some musical talent. What this tells me, though, is that you have your sights set on a lot more than just Lungmen. What drives you to work so hard? Well, a lot of different reasons, I'd say. But at the start, I didn't have anything complicated in mind. There's just someone I hope to catch up to. Oh? It's just like in the script. Every time she gazed through the window or out the door or across the empty streets, her eyes made me feel like one day she would leave both us and Lungmen behind. And when that day comes, what would you choose? What's the hurry? Don't you think it's a miracle for the two of us to run into each other in Siracusa again? I'm busy right now. What a coincidence, so am I. Let me guess, your job is to protect this man. What are you... Some people really need to learn to read the room. Don't you agree, Texas? Go protect the target. I'll deal with her. Understood. So, want some millefoyer? I'll take a piece. Huh, now that's more like it. So, Texas. Whoops, now that we're in Siracusa, I should be calling you Salinia, right? I'd rather you didn't. Fine by me. Honestly, I find it easier that way too. Force of habit can sure be a scary thing, can't it? Living a leisurely life in Lungmen, occasionally bumping into each other at Rhodes Island, maybe even going on some missions together. Makes me feel like my swords are gonna go rusty. This ever-familiar rain is what makes me feel alive. Swords rust in the rain. In Siracusa, the rain washes away the blood. Only people like you who walk around town with your swords out, but no intention to use them, need to worry about rust. Why are you here? It's simple, really. Because you are. Hey, Texas, how long has it been since you were last in Siracusa? Probably about 10 years now. 7 years and 5 months. For more than 7 years, the prodigal daughter of Familia Texas has not set foot in Siracusa. I still remember how your grandfather sent you back to serve as a hostage. You stayed with Familia Saluzzo for a while. Those days didn't last long, but we sure got along great, didn't we? If that's your idea of getting along. Even though you're a Colombian, you managed to win the acknowledgement of all of Siracusa's familiae. Oh, it was truly a shame what happened at the end. If you ask me, you ought to stay a while this time and take a good look around. I'm going back as soon as I finish my work here. Oh, going back, you say? Now that you mention it, there's something I've always been curious about, Texas. You betrayed the Texases and decided to become a lone wolf. You even abandoned everything the Texases left behind in Colombia. So why do you still go by the name Texas and Lungmen? That's none of your business, Lappland. I don't plan on staying in Siracusa. I will go back to Lungmen. There are people waiting for me there. Okay then, I'll help you. I don't need your help. Surely you don't think this is a fight you can take on all on your own? Didn't you find some buddies over in Lungmen? Didn't your time at Rhodes Island teach you that it's okay to rely on others? Siracusa is no place for tourists. If Rhodes Island ever plans to set up a branch office here, I would urge them to reconsider. But most of all, I can't trust you specifically. Ah, yes, trust. Texas, you know my family name, right? Saluzzo. That's right, and we Saluzzos don't place our bets lightly. You don't need to trust me, but you do need our backing, isn't that right? Or do you really intend to let the Ballones drag you around by the leash? The deafening boom, the sound of an explosion, suddenly tore through the air from not too far away. The flash and flame effortlessly engulfed the government official by the name of Karachi. Car bomb! Oh, now that's a classic. Signor Ministro! Uh-oh. Banquet venue is under attack! All nearby Familia associates, hurry and back us up! Damn it. Simultaneous attacks on two fronts. Now that's interesting. Who would have the guts to pull that off, Texas? Show yourself. I knew it. What should I do if I want to go back to Lungmen? Ever since Texas took her first step back in this city, that question has always been on her mind. Going by her agreement with Zaro, the easiest way would be to obey Familia Ballone's every command. But right now, Texas can already vaguely feel that the events unfolding in this city are not so simple. Talk. Who sent you? You don't need to know. She's not worried. She understands Siracusa well, and knows that there is no end to these things. She simply feels a twinge of emptiness, one that even she never expected to feel, because no one will come to her aid in this fight. And after it's over, no one will ask her if she's hurt, or drag her off to some party. For her, this emptiness has long since been second nature. So much so that even after leaving Lungmen for such a brief period of time, everything about the city already seems so distant and nostalgic. Out of my way. Don't stop me from going back home. But Texas, the more you want to go back, the more you'll have to cut your ties. It'll just make you sink deeper and deeper. What I want to know is, when you finally realize that you're completely covered in mud, what will you do then? Oof. To see you again, Your Honor. Oh, Dan Brown, you're here. Looks like I'm in luck. You washed your car just last week, didn't you? Nothing I can do about it. After all, it's my job to be hated. Don't worry, I'll get it nice and clean again for you. Why don't you take a look around while you wait? That's alright. I'll just wait here. Your Honor, I heard that the judges have it pretty good. They drive fancy cars, show up on TV, and even the mayor has to be extra polite around them. After all, they represent Senora Cecilia's will. I reckon I don't see any other judges like you, Signorina Lavinia, who get paint thrown on their car every other day. You're probably right. I don't know about the fancy cars or TV appearances, but I could sure use a membership card to your store right about now. Sorry, our humble little shop doesn't offer VIP services. You look like you're in a better mood than before, though. Did that one Familia stop giving you trouble? All thanks to you, Your Honor. I ran into them on the street yesterday, and they all steer clear of me. Never thought there could be a judge as fair as you in Siracusa. Fair, huh? They're just scared of the people behind me, that's all. You say that, but even if you're backed by Familia Bellone, you still doled out punishment to a Familia well connected with the Bellones. In Siracusa, Signora Cecilia is justice itself. I don't know how many of the judges representing the interests of her old Familia actually bother upholding any real justice. But deep down in my heart, I know you're the embodiment of justice. That isn't actually a compliment. Oh, right. I almost forgot. You said earlier that you were having trouble sleeping. Did you go see a doctor? I did. Doc said I didn't have anything wrong with me physically, Just some mental stress. Oh, is something troubling you? Troubling me? I wouldn't go that far. Honestly, this job is basically just a way for me to kill time. Not exactly rich, but I'm not desperate for cash either. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, Your Honor. I just don't know. How do you usually like to pass the time? It's me. What? Karachi was... I understand. I'll be right there. Sorry, Dan Brown. Let's chat some other time. As for your question just now, I'd recommend giving the theater a shot. I often head down to watch an opera if I have time to spare. Dan Brown exits the store. He watches as the judge he deeply respects drives off into the rain, quickly disappearing from sight. She's always so busy, he thinks to himself, drying his rain-beaded gloves on his overalls. But nothing she does will end up mattering, will it? Or rather, the fact that she still holds on to hope is precisely the reason why she'll be disappointed again and again. Things weren't this complicated in the good old days. He looks at the rain falling outside the store and suddenly remembers an afternoon many, many years ago. I hope it rains a little longer so I won't have to sweep out the garbage in the morning. Get down! Eek! Damn, thought you were a pampered little princeling, but turns out you're pretty tough to deal with. They're no slouches. Stand back, Rubio. I'm clearly the one they're after. I know. Eek! More of them over there, too. Out of my way! Slippery bastard. What? Isn't that Penguin Logistics? Get down. Okay. Dead, Gambino? Like I'd kick the bucket so easily. Never expected the real master to show up here. Got the crap. Mission's botched. Let's split while we still can. I think I remember those two. Is everyone gone now? You alright? I think so. You're wounded. Don't move. It's easy to bleed out. I've already called for backup. They'll be here soon. I'll be fine, but how? How many people would have known about today's banquet? Are you suggesting... You're right. Such a large-scale, coordinated attack must have been planned for a while. But my identity is public knowledge at this point, and it's not exactly hard to track me down. In any case, I'm glad you arrived in time. Karachi is dead. What did you say? What? You've got to be shitting me. Karachi is dead? Car bomb detonated right as he was walking by. Karachi and 3 bodyguards near him died instantly. Based on the wreckage at the scene, there was no point even taking him to the hospital. I'm sorry. The people who attacked us were without a doubt the same people who murdered Ministro Karachi. What could their objective be? Why are you here? There's so many court cars here as well. You should have told me sooner that Bologna invited her here. Salinia, Texas, is the first witness to the scene of Ministro Karachi's murder. You are also a suspect. Now, I'm here to detain you. Any resistance will be treated as flouting the laws of Siracusa and will be punished accordingly. Texas does not resist. She understands what she sees in the judge's eyes. Moreover, to all officials and associates of the Familiae, Ministro Karachi's importance to Volsini is self-evident. The attacks carried out on each of you will be investigated as part of the same investigation. I, Lavinia Falcone, swear upon my honor to find the identity of the murderer. This shall not go unpunished. You're not serious, are you? Of course I am. All right. The string of events that just occurred makes Leon Tutso feel a bit fatigued. And right as this thought crosses his mind, his entire world starts to spin. Leon! Rain continues to fall with no signs of relenting. Leon's hurt. Texas is under arrest. A lot of crazy stuff going on here.
Everyone, stay calm.
Okay, we're gonna put Jessica out there.
We're fighting you guys. Then please do your best this job, or I'll be really bored.
Put Cruz there.
Freeze!
Okay. We need to protect them from here.
Got it.
So,
Freeze!
we'll put Ami out so we have a caster to deal some heavy damage quick. We're gonna put Myrtle here just as a backup in case anybody gets past them, but mostly to farm my DP here.
There you are.
Let's begin.
E1 Texas there.
Ooh, almost. I have to get serious now.
Solid positioning.
One
Alright.
step backward. It's safe here. I'm right here, Doctor. I know what you're thinking.
Yeah, we'll put Click there, just in case anybody gets through. Continue farming, but we're already at 12. 32 technically, minus these three, so...
Cut them to pieces.
Here I
See how this plays out. They're handling the bottom pretty good.
I have to get serious now.
Okay, we're at 20. Making good progress.
Almost dozed
I think I
off.
can pull Myrtle.
You can't stop me.
There you are.
We're good. We've got these guys just in case I need any backup. I mean, I'm probably not even gonna need Click. Or even
One
her.
step backward.
Not at this rate. No way. We're in good shape. Just pull their
You
deployment.
can't stop me.
Done. There it is. That was fairly easy too. It's only the second stage though. Only the second. Is what it is. Ooh, pool table. Oh, he's awake. Where am I? Oh, you're finally awake. This is home. Dimitri, why are you here? Lavinia brought you back. According to the doctor, you passed out due to a combination of your injuries and fatigue. Want an apple? Sure. I knew you'd be hungry, so I already peeled it for you. Where's Lavinia? She left after delivering you to the guards. You should know by now that she's always been reluctant to set foot inside this mansion. Her coming here for your sake is already a miracle in itself. Garachi's death is actually a bit of an issue. And, excuse me. The news of your injury is sure to get out. In the eyes of the other familiae, the Balonies have, in a heartbeat, gone from the clear frontrunner to a total mess, both inside and out. Someone could show up at any moment to try and take a bite out of us. Did we keep any of the assailants alive long enough for them to get them to talk? Unfortunately, no. We couldn't find any leads on their bodies either. I expected as much. Any idea who could be behind this? Saluzzo's always kept their cards close to their chests, biding their time. For them, this is a prime opportunity. As for the Rosati's, they're probably victims too, since Wallach was with me when they attacked. Still, Columpia's familiae has never been much of a monolith. I'm adding words. True, there's always the possibility of infighting among them. Besides, there are even more possibilities. They sure found themselves a nice opening. Mind pouring me some water? You bastard, barking out even more orders than usual when you're lying in bed. Did you really just pour me a cup of boiling water? Is it my fault your order wasn't specific enough? Alright, fine, I know this is how you express your dissatisfaction with me. What is it this time? It's about the arrangement with Texas. I can't agree to it. Lavinia is a righteous person who would never frame an innocent. She has her own ideas. That's not what I meant. She was supposed to be your sword. When the boss handed her over to you, that came with the insurance that she would not endanger the Familia. and you forged her into a razor-sharp blade. But now, she's behind bars under Lavinia's watch. Seriously, can't tell that she's looking out for our familia's interests? I'll admit, holding on to Texas after today would only make things more precarious for you. That her surname has appeared once more in Siracusa draws far too much attention. In that sense, you have a point. From Lavinia's perspective, it's safer to have Texas in hand. But how is the rest of our familia supposed to see this? They'll start to think that Leontuzzo, the next Don of Familia Bologna, has gotten addicted to playing house on top of the tablecloth, that you've gone soft. And not only do you not know how to swing a knife, you got it taken away from you. Bologna's already lost the advantage. No matter who comes looking for trouble, we need to fight back tooth and nail. Leon, the development of Volsini's new district is more than humdrum business of Il Ministero dei Lavori Pubblici. It should be under Bologna control. So that's what you really wanted to say to me. I also have my own plans, Dimitri. Let's hear them then. Alright, Fratello. You are my trusted advisor. When I got attacked, I already had the feeling that things weren't adding up. And after hearing about Karachi's death, that became even more clear. You just asked me who I suspected could be behind this. I don't actually think it's a Saluzzo or a Rosati. Why is that? Hitmen knew me all too well. They knew exactly how to hit our familia with speed and precision while targeting me at the same time. So what you're saying is, I'm going to lock myself indoors for the next few days. I need to recover from my wounds. If people think we're fumbling in disarray, then let them think that. Until the true enemy shows their tail. So you let Lavinia take Texas on purpose. That's right. As for how she wants to play her hand, that's for her to decide. In the meantime, there will no doubt be a slew of attacks on our familia. Pay close attention to whoever's scheming behind the scenes. Understood. Bet she's right beside you. So was that a good enough answer for you? Of course. Since you have a clear plan in mind, naturally, I'll help you put it into action. You are, after all, the boss here. That's what I want to hear. Let me down, Dimitri. Myself bleed. Oh, look, it's me. Leon, I heard you were injured. How are you doing? I'm fine. We need to talk about what happened earlier today. I'd imagine you probably have something to ask me too about that name. Texas. Volsini Prison. So you were held up at the time. Who was holding you up? An old acquaintance. Awfully convenient for them to show up then, don't you think? You're pretty used to being in this kind of situation, aren't you? Back in Longman, I'd sometimes let myself get interrogated like this. Longman, huh? Anyway, I'd have no reason to do anything like that. That's what they all say. To be honest, I don't think you could have been the perpetrator, Salinia. I can't imagine it would have done you any good. Also, Leon contacted me beforehand and gave me a few reasons why I should trust you. So that's why you showed up at a venue where so many important figures were present. It was originally prepared as a stage for you by Familia Bologna. However, given the current circumstances, our best option is for me to keep you here. You're protecting Leontuzzo. I'm protecting you as well, Texas. Also, this may divert the attention of the other familiae. They will be speculating what Bologna's next move will be after getting hit like this. And those suspicions might loosen some of the fetters around my ankles. Are you really a judge? Why would you ask that? You seem to know a lot about how the familiae operate. I am, in fact, a judge. But to be good at this job in Siracusa, you need to know how the mafiosi keep themselves alive, even better than they do. Even if I'd rather not know. You misunderstood me. It's not at all surprising that a law enforcement official would know a thing or two about the people you're enforcing it on. But what I meant was that judges like you didn't exist back in the old Siracusa. Don't get the wrong idea, Salinia, Texas. I didn't bring you here because of the so-called checks and balances among the familiae. Outsiders may interpret my stance as such, but I couldn't care less. You just arrived in this city, and you still don't understand how important Ministro Karachi really was. He was an outstanding person. He could have made the new city under reconstruction something far better. Under construction. Wasn't just another project to expand his business either. He wanted to make it possible for the citizens to enjoy a new way of life. But he's dead now, and I will find his murderer and bring them to justice. They think they could dispose of the people who refuse to bend the knee one after another as if they were puppets. But I will make them realize that they are not tossing away a broken doll. They are murdering living flesh and blood people. Ah, so Karachi's death had nothing to do with you. Right. And you didn't find out who the murderer was. Pretty much. The task I gave you to investigate exactly why Baloney decided to bring back Texas. No leads there either. You never missed a beat, my dear father. And despite having accomplished nothing at all, you didn't even bother showing up when I called to convene a meeting. Traffic is pretty bad this time of year. Lappland, when I kicked you out of the house 7 years ago, you lost your right to call yourself a Saluzzo. Do you understand what that means? Of course I do. It means you won't show any mercy when you decide to dispose of a disobedient tool like me. You've always been so self-aware, yet never of the slightest inclination to act accordingly. Do you really need me to personally deliver a little warning to the poor little judgy? Why would I feel the need to warn her? Now that the princeling pup is hiding behind closed doors, everybody's gonna think that sharp-tongued little judgy is a baloney puppet. And with your personality, you aren't inclined to believe that the Balonies are as weak as they present. So wouldn't it be common sense to use the judge's well-being to test the waters? Seeing how you understand what to do, I want to see results. Why, naturally, I'd never disobey your orders, assuming our interests align, that is. My dearest father. Tesora. Salvador, what are we to do now? Am I to thank you for freeing me from the clutches of my own blood relative? Am I to thank you for spilling blood so that the infected workers may have full stomachs? The man you killed was my father. No, I do not need a list of his crimes. I should think I know them better than you. The scars on our bodies are proof of his cruelty. The deaths of those laborers were proof of his exploitation. But still, despite it all, Salvador, I truly thank you from the bottom of my heart for saving me and so many others. But the stench of blood lingering about you grows stronger and stronger. Let us be away from this place, Salvador. Just the two of us. Take me somewhere we will at last be able to find peace, all right? It might already be too late. Salvador, it might already have been too late the day you first set foot in Colombia, from when you first sharpened your blade. You say this was all destined, and it couldn't have been avoided. I can't help but think, if I were in Vivian's place, would I be able to forgive Salvador? Even if what he did could be forgiven, the grudge would follow the both of them for the rest of their lives. Exactly right, Signorina. Huh? That the two of them were able to get together in the end is, of course, artistic license. In fact, the real Salvador did not elope with Vivian. Also, despite the fact that Vivian's father was indeed as callous as he was wealthy, he took good care of his family, particularly Vivian, whom he doted on like a diamond in the palm of his hand. Oh, very rarely is someone pure evil, don't you think? Therefore, even if the perpetrator was someone you loved dearly, even if you were aware of your father's despicable acts, something like what he did is not so easily forgiven. Signorina Vivienne ultimately chose to leave him and move to a new city, where she met someone who truly loved her and thus began a new life. But until her last breath, she never forgot the man named Salvador. So in a sense, this story can be seen as vicariously helping her dream come true. Did you know Miss Vivienne well? I suppose you could say that. My name is Katerina. You're quite the lovely young actress. Are you new here? I swing by frequently, but I've never seen your face before. I am. My name is Sora, and I came from Lungmen. Lungmen? How fascinating. I've heard of many actors who went to Lungmen to develop their careers, but rarely the other way around. Sometimes there's value in bucking the trend. Too true. So, Miss Katerina, do you know what happened to the actual Miss Vivienne? Vivienne, huh? She never forgot Salvador. Maybe that's why her son chose a similar path. He became a wise guy and gradually rose to become the dawn of a certain familia. A familia that would eventually go on to clash against Salvador himself. Fortunately, Vivienne came forward and prevented the two rivals from becoming mortal enemies, and eventually they even became allies. Wait, are you talking about the Rosati family from the script? That's right. Have you already read through the entire thing? Yes, I also wanted to learn as much as I could about the Texas family's history, for some personal reasons. So what did you think of the story? There are a few bits I can't make sense of. Oh, for example? For example, Salvador's granddaughter. Sora, the stylist wants you to take a look at the design of your costume. Okay, I'll be right there. Sorry, but I have to go. I don't mind. We'll have another chance to talk. Sora! Take your time. We can always chat at our leisure some other day. Okay, that's great. Salvador's granddaughter. Heh. You're wasting time at the theater again, boss. How many times do I have to tell you, Wallach? It's not a waste of time. You pushed most of your work onto me just so you could go write a shitty play? Is that what the boss of a familia should be doing? And you even gave yourself a pseudonym. Do you have a problem with that? Of course not. You were none other than Giovanna Rosati, our beloved Donna. I know you're dissatisfied with me, but... is there really anything in this city worth worrying over? Before, no, but now, yes. Karachi is dead. Oh? But Karachi was originally just an ordinary man, elevated by the familia to keep each other in check. All his death proves is that Bologna was not capable enough, nothing more. And someone greatly resembling Salinia appeared at Leontuzzo's side. Say that again? Texas, Salinia, Texas. Well, look, I don't recall you being the sort of man who liked to crack jokes, and you should also know that I hate people who joke about Texas more than anything else. So you can tell I'm not joking. I have no idea how Bologna managed to find her, but she had those unmistakable eyes and hair, exactly like the one in your photo. So she didn't die. And she's with Leontuzzo now. So she would never have survived the liquidation if not for a certain familia protecting her. The logical conclusion is that Bologna saved her back then. Looks like we're going to need to have a little chat. Giovanna, this is clearly a trap. Wallach, my apologies, boss. It's not so much a trap as an entire conspiracy. Think bigger. If they really were the ones who saved her back then, what good does it do me to drop by and express my gratitude? Make preparations. Business discussions are over. I'm paying Vilsini a visit. Understood. I'll make the arrangements. Alas, it seems that the new script will have to go on the back burner for a while. Boss, I'm sure you're aware that Karachi's death presents an excellent opportunity for us. You still seem hung up on the Texas name. If this keeps up, the Rosatis won't have a future. Interesting.
Slice them up like a millefeuille. How do you like it?
House perimeters are now explorable. Interesting. Okay, first of all, let's go collect our stuff here. Do 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 do. Okay, what do we got? 87. Let's do this. We'll get the public bookshelf. Okay. Back over to here. Okay, all this stuff. Let's go to Vilsini Prison. Coming of age ceremony. Guards up and down the corridor. Alright, so let's start up there. Coming of age ceremony for a mafioso. Once in the courthouse, once in the slammer. Guard paces up and down the corridor. Go ahead and ask, are you really the last Texas? Are you really the murderer? Judge Lavinia was the one who arrested you, but if I recall correctly, you came here by the Bologna boy. Did they have a falling out of some sort? Not answering, huh? Let's try something else. There's so much commotion out there, but it's deathly quiet in here. You're not going to ask me for anything. Maybe what kind of sentence you're in for? Not talking again, huh? Texas notices water dripping from the corners of the wall due to the humidity of the rainy season. Her own clothes have even gotten wet. A minor discomfort such as this normally would not bother her at all, but right now, that sensation makes her skin crawl with disgust. People here don't care about who died or why. They only care about a name, an identity, a name that fills them with exhilaration. Texas leans against the corner, her eyelids weighed down by her exhaustion. Now we've got her. Okay. Would you mind telling me more about your life in Lungman? I delivered things. Texas' expression softened slightly. But it couldn't have just been about logistics work, right? Well, it sometimes gets complicated, but I really am just a delivery girl over there. You occasionally have some rubber bullets, some drag racing stunts, and some high-quality vinyls. My friends like those kind of things. And they've also asked me the same kind of questions. What's Siracusa like? Do they really kill people at the drop of a hat? When you go outside, do you have groups of burly men in sunglasses following you around? Sounds like something some smaller familiae might do. Your friends didn't come with you, did they? No, I actually don't even want to explain all this to them. When all's said and done, I need to go apologize. Lavinia leans forward slightly and raises 2 glasses of wine from the tray in front of her. Texas reaches over to accept the glass of wine, revealing the corner of the poster stashed in her pocket. What's that? Just a poster. Seemed like a pretty good joke at the time, but now that I think about it, it's just a poster. The Morte de Texas. I'll help you finish the rest. Received cup of red wine. Wine has many meanings, one of which is acknowledgement. Thanks. Mafiosi of unknown affiliation stand at the door, weapons in hand. Texas is intent on coming home, and someone is intent on stopping her. Clear the stage with at least a 2-star rating while defeating at least 5 Sicilians. Okay. Okay.
Let's go.
This again? So it seems like these are like rehashed stages. That's interesting how this works out.
You'll pay for that.
Solid positioning.
Okay.
I'll show them what I can do.
Okay, we're gonna keep them good. Put Myrtle out to defend here.
Doctor. Take aim.
Just so that I can start farming DP. We should be good with what we got here, but you never know.
Ooh, don't gather around me, guys. There you are.
He's handling top lane pretty well there.
Take aim. I have to get serious now.
He's 7 more.
Here I am.
Easy enough. That's it. All right. Easy enough. Four fighters and a medic there.
Is my greatest motivation.
Easy enough. Hey, recompense. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Explore more areas first. Okay. Nobody else yet. Some stories are still unfolding in corners you aren't aware of. Select the perspective you'd like to experience. Okay. Oops. What I need to do is good on that. So next is IS-3. Balsini Prison. The prime target. To change the absurdity of reality, one must be prepared to make an enemy of the world. Blood Ledger. All enemies are boosted when Familia Silencer is summoned, when Blood Debt is max. Okay. What that means. Oh, back to here. Well, this dress looks absolutely stunning. You wouldn't say that again. Sora's gonna look mighty fine in it. If someone told me about this earlier, I would have signed up myself. No way, no how. You don't know the first thing about acting. I can just act like I always do. And there ain't no roles for a Sancta in Siracusa either. Says who? Heard that there was a Sancta with Senora Cecilia. Huh? Ah. Signorina Sally, our boss is inviting you over for dinner. But she's on her way to rehearsal right now. Bafanculo. Our boss wants to have a word with Signorina Sally here. Being a little late won't make a difference, will it? I'll go get the director. The director? I might have carried water for him in the past, but these days... please don't. The hell are you playing nice with them for? You should feel honored that our boss wants to see you. If you don't want to get messed up, behave yourself and come with us. Wait, the boss didn't say we could... You still don't understand what the boss was getting at? We were all scared of the Ballones before. But now that they are out of the picture and the bigwigs are about to shuffle the deck again, we'll never get a better chance. Huh, you're right. Let's go, brothers. Time to clean up the streets of these eyesores. Protect Signorina Sally. Heck's happening? Huh? Where'd she go? She already rushed out. Let's back her up. You call yourself a bodyguard. Right this way, Signorina. I know. Excuse me. You people are... What the hell are you? Catch me if you can. Get her. Don't mess with us. Let's split. Your name's Sally, right? You okay? Do you know what you've done? You didn't save me at all, you're just making things worse. They're not going to let this go. So how'd you plan to get out of that mess? By gritting my teeth. Huh, they were gonna hurt you. I could deal with injuries. Did you really think they were going to kidnap me? They're just trying to cause trouble. Shouldn't you at least call for help when stuff like this happens? What's the point? Nobody's going to intervene in a struggle between familiae. What about that Judge Lavinia lady? She seemed like a pretty decent person to me. She's indeed a very good judge, but there's nothing she can do in these situations. Besides, even if I never made it out of this park, how many people would know that I disappeared because of this conflict between those mafiosi? So, you're just going to put up with it? How else are we supposed to live our lives? This is how it's always been. Find a place to hide, wait until the dust settles, and then follow the victorious side out. That's all I can do. But why does it have to be like that? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to blame you, but to be honest, this is the first time in my life I've ever known what it feels like to be protected. The Familia isn't even particularly influential. The director should be able to help smooth things over. Just as a friendly word of advice, if you plan to stay alive in Siracusa, please try to avoid doing stuff like that in the future, especially considering what's about to happen. What's about to happen? Have you not seen the news at all? Karachi, Ministro di Lavori Pubblici, is dead. Yeah, I saw that. Assassinated, looks like. I feel so bad for him. Since you all seem nice enough, I'll tell you a little more about him. I have to deal with mafiosi pretty regularly, so I've heard a thing or two from them. The person who murdered him hasn't been found yet, and the young master of Familia Bellone was also attacked at the same time. Huh? Bellone? That's right. The Bellones were poised to stand head and shoulders above the other Familiae, but it seems like someone's been plotting against them for a while. Many Familiae that had previously given up are now starting to move again, little by little. Did you hear any of them mention the name Texas? Texas? There's not a single person in Siracusa who doesn't know that name. But usually in the context of the last Texas or something along those lines. Really? You're a strange one, you know that? It's obviously all made up. How could there possibly be a Texas still alive out there? But, alright, you have a point. In any case, you should already know that our troupe has some connections to Familia Bellone, the director. Just as those people were saying in the past, everyone wanted to get on his good side, but now, you all saw what happened. Do all of Siracusa's Familiae go around doing whatever the hell they want like that? Remember what I'm about to tell you. If you want to survive in Siracusa, you either need to join a Familia or stay as far away from them as possible. Then, you need to delude yourself into believing that as long as you stay away from them, you won't get sucked into any trouble. Alright, I should head back to the theater now. Right. Ah! What now? Someone's been tied up over here. Assuming nothing out of the ordinary happened, someone ought to have found that poor fella by now. I don't get it, man. Why go through all that trouble keeping him alive just to let him go? What's so special about that guy anyway? What it proves is that shady bartender wanted him to be found. As for why, it's usually a trap. What a sinister fella. You say that now, but if he ends up winning, you're gonna be calling him a genius. Dipshit. Heh. What's so funny? I just remembered how we used to argue like this back when we were kids. Never would have imagined that after all these years, after all of life's twists and turns, two of us would still be out here fighting for our lives. That's fate for you. Never know where it's gonna take you. Ain't that the truth? Who could have known something like that would happen in Longman? And after all that, we'd still come back to Siracusa. The Ambino. If, and I mean if, Lappland has really decided to leave us alone and let us fend for ourselves, would you still stay in Siracusa? What, do you miss your Longman that bad? Forget it. Not like you'd ever understand anyway. Let's talk about something more practical. You really plan on switching employers? Look at the news. The guy we tried to off today was Don Bellone's son. Seems like someone real important died at the same time. Which sounds to me an awful lot like some unknown familia has been using us as their weapons. Might as well go make that relationship formal then. Better than taking on odd jobs and begging for scraps. That's right. As soon as you're back at Siracusa, you participated in an attempted assassination of one of the Dodici Dons. You two sure have grown. Guess the good old days are far from over. Lappland. Oh, today's breakfast is looking pretty good. Pay for your own. Aw, is that any way to treat your boss? So what have you been up to all this time? I went to say hi to the folks and got to enjoy some sorely missed family time. Simple as that. What a relief that despicable old mug back home is just as punchable as it's always been. You with a familia? Oh, did I never mention it? My last name is Saluzzo. Saluzzo? You're a Saluzzo? Capone. Do you know the thing I hate the third most is? Capone feels a chill course through his body, but the sensation is so fleeting that he has to wonder if it was his imagination. When people start wailing and moaning once they hear the name of my familia. Come to think of it, the way you do things really does remind me of that one familia. What about the other two things? Gonna die, I might as well die knowing. Seems like you've picked up on how to get along with me. Actually, I just came up with that line on the spot. Alright, talk to me. So why'd the two of you decide to do a hit on Familia Belloni? Min? So that guy survived. Sorry for bothering you, Signor Segretario. Oh no, Your Honor, the pleasure is mine. Your office is quite impressive. I frequently have distinguished guests here. This is the sort of decor they prefer, so I figured I'd go along with it. So did you need me for something? I wanted to talk to you about Karachi's death. I believe I already made a statement about that. I know, but I wanted to have a chance to chat with you for more personal reasons. All right. I heard you swore you'd find Karachi's murderer and bring them to justice. Good. Young folks ought to have that kind of drive. So have you made any progress? Unfortunately, not yet. Sorry to hear that. I heard you've always been on good terms with him personally, so... That's true. Karachi was greatly concerned with the citizenry's well-being. Things such as food, water, and sanitation. But I don't think there's anything I can do to assist you. I never actually mingled my way into his innermost circle. So while I'd love to help, there's nothing I can do. Anything you can give me is fine. A place you think is suspicious or anyone in the government I should keep an eye on. You're asking too much. You understand what I'm saying, don't you? Your Honor, several other Ministri de Lavori Pubblici died before Karachi. Do you remember them? 7? Or maybe 8? People in those positions were just puppets. Each familia was just trying to push their own people up there. But in the end, they were all taken out by other familiae. When it came to a position as important as Il Ministero de Lavori Pubblici, though, I'll be blunt here. It was clear as day why the Familiae filled the position with a man as spotless as Karachi instead of installing one of their own cronies. For one simple reason, if the killing continued, the construction of the city would grind to a halt. If our people can't get in, then we'll at least make sure yours can't either. That is why Karachi occupied that seat. Make no mistake, he had close ties with the Bolognes. The Don's son even sat beside him as secretary. In one way or another, he was just as close with every other familia. There's an ancient Yan saying to the effect of, "He who walks oft along the river inevitably finds his shoes wet," yes? I've always trusted in Karachi's integrity, but so what? Others did not see it that way. The way Siracusans think, you either choose to be one of Familia's pet, or you choose to be another's. In other words, Karachi's death was inevitable. He wasn't part of any Familia's vision for the future. Do you think he was oblivious to that fact? In the end, it doesn't matter whether he died today, a month ago, or a month from now. You know how much hard work he put in. And what did he get for it in the end? Actually, let's assume he was as selfless a person as you say. What did the people he worked so hard for, those whom he so eloquently claimed as his dear citizens, give him in the end? Your Honor, I've also heard a great many rumors about you. You undeniably have a fair number of accomplishments under your belt, but among them, how many were due solely to your own hard work? How many were influenced by the people behind your back? You already know the answer, don't you? You. If I may be frank, Your Honor, are you really not here to test me on behalf of Bologna? That is not my intention, I swear. I'd prefer it were. Then please heed this word of caution, Your Honor. Those who've died stay dead. We already have too much to worry about without overly concerning ourselves with the deceased. And this is the attitude of someone who was on good terms with him. If you want to have a slightly longer lease on life in Volsini's government, I'd suggest you learn this lesson as well. Oh, hello, sweetheart. I'm still at work right now. Are you ready to go? Alright. I'll get ready to head over then. Okay. That was my daughter. Now a newly opened restaurant has invited me to inspect their ingredients tonight. We'll have to set aside our discussion for later. Oh, right. Please let Master Leontuzzo know that he is welcome to talk to me if he's interested in the gourmet experience. I'll remember to pass it on. Now then, please see yourself out. What did you say? Found someone unconscious and tied up. The leader of the bunch that attacked the restaurant. Understood. I'll be there right away. Telling you, the two of us just happen to be involved in that hit. We don't know nothing. As for the guy who handed out the orders, we don't know which familia he belongs to, but he sure was generous with the cash. They were clearly looking for hitmen with murky backgrounds like you two, so when you die, there'll be no trail back to who hired you. You might think you ran into them by chance, but it wouldn't surprise me if they had their eyes on you a long time ago. I'm not saying they didn't. So, want to take a crack at who your employer is? Probably the Rosatis or the Saluzos. The Dodici, who've been fighting over the city all this time, and with the Bolognes out of the picture, they're the only two familia with enough power left. Right, I'm sure most people would think the same. But now you know the Saluzos were never planning anything like that. That just leaves the Rosatis. One more. What do you mean? Remember those poor suckers you took out early on? They were originally targeting people from Il Ministero dei Lavori Pubblici. Don Bologna's son's been seen working there, so another way of putting this is that the folks you dealt with were trying to get in Bologna's way. So what you're saying is we helped the Bolognes put down a threat, but then turned right around and hit him even harder. So what? We see Familia doing that kind of power jockeying stuff every day. He's got a point. First hit we made might have been on some unlucky short-sighted bastards. But don't you forget, you were specifically sent to shut them up. Wait, are you serious? Are you suggesting there's a double agent inside the Balonies? Just another possibility. But hey, that's what makes things interesting. Let's assume that's true and do a little experiment here. Karachi, Il Ministero dei Lavori Pubblici is dead. And before that, several more people in the Ministero were killed. Naturally, most people are going to see those things as connected, especially that poor judge. But the perpetrator who carried out the hit has already been silenced, and she can't find their leader either. She's at a complete loss, so what does she do next? If only some kind of clue would appear. And what do you know? Isn't that assassin you dumped out there the best possible lead? So that's why they waited until now to throw that guy out. Does make sense when you put it that way. And they set up a little ambush and make sure the judge has an accident. Kaboom! Lappland stretches out her hands and falls back onto the sofa as if knocked back by the blast. Everyone's gonna get pulled in. Ah, what a great idea. It's so great that even if this is all bullshit, I'd want to make it reality. So, let me get this straight. You two are saying that the Balonies are putting a whole goddamn opera? It's definitely possible. After all, nobody understands the Balonies better than themselves. I don't buy it. These are the Familia's plans for the future we're talking about. There ain't a single wise guy in all of Siracusa who'd attack his own Familia at a time like this. Gambino, you should have realized by now that kind of blind confidence is what brought down the Sicilians. But I gotta say, I think I agree with you this time. Aha, then maybe they're putting on this show to feign weakness so everybody thinks they're vulnerable but they were already on the cusp of victory. Do you seriously think that the Balonies just decided to give up on a city that was right at their fingertips just to turn this whole place upside down? Are they crazy or something? Who knows? There are more lunatics walking this land than you might think. And I guess our merry meal time needs to wrap up. Hope you have a jolly old time out there. You stopped by just to say hello? What, are you that eager to be my henchman? I wouldn't say it's high on my priorities, but at least tell us which side you're on. Last thing I want is to end up fighting against you without realizing, and dying without knowing what hit me. Me? Naturally, I'll always be Texas's most loyal supporter. Is everyone in position for the ambush? Yes. You seem like you want to say something. I was just thinking, I feel bad for Signorina Lavinia. Whatever the case may be, she's a friend to the Familia. If only the one she befriended wasn't Leon, the next Dawn of Familia Baloney. Look, I don't want to be the villain either. So she wants to play her little games of justice, sure. We can allow, to an extent. But she thinks she has the backing of one of the bosses. What she's done over the years has been had a larger and larger impact on Leon. No, on our entire Familia. Balonies don't need softness like that. She must be made crystal clear of this fact, and so must Leon. Otherwise, we'll never be able to seize ultimate victory from the chaos that's about to ensue. But the young master, I know many of you are still conflicted about this. I will still assume full responsibility for whatever happens. When Leon eventually comes asking who to blame, I won't get any of you involved. Linnea, I need to send you to stay in Siracusa for a while. You have to go. The Colombian Familia changed into an opulent attire, took up residence in luxurious mansions, and stepped into the so-called upper class, thinking they had clearly delineated a boundary between them and Siracusa. Siracusa is barbaric, while we are not. They spoke those words, thinking themselves superior to our homeland. Your father's been captured by this line of thinking too. As for you, I need you to see for yourself. See the place we came from. See if we're any different from them. Who's there? Ah, it's Pookie. I brought you some chocolate. Want some? I see prison security in Siracusa is just as shoddy as ever. You know, they call this one impregnable, at least compared to other cities. Texas lets out a tiny sigh and takes a bite out of the chocolate in Lappland's hand. It's her least favorite flavor. Huh, and here I thought you'd be chasing me out instead. That takes a lot more effort than just ignoring you. So... My god. These two and their quips back and forth. I can't handle it. I adore them both. Anyways, as long as you don't get in my way, do whatever you want. Ah, I'm almost moved to tears here, Texas. Even you're gradually figuring out how to get along with me. I never get in other people's way. I'd much rather clear the fog for them, so they can better see where they're going. How much do the Saluzos know? No more than you do. The Bolognes were pretty much a shoo-in to win, but to keep the Rosati's down, they even brought you back from Lungmen, as a precautionary measure of sorts. But right at the critical moment, yesterday's assassination took place. It's so blatant that people can't help but think it had to be intentional. Is the perpetrator even trying to stay hidden? So what about you? Planning to sit in the cell reminiscing about every little thing that happened in Lungmen until the judge lets you go? Weren't you in a hurry to get back here? Or back there? You consider the wait just another leg of the journey home, then I can be pretty patient. But what if that judge is in danger? And we know she is now. Where is he? Has he woken up yet? Good to see you here, Your Honor. We've already taken full control of the scene. The suspect is still unconscious, but he was tied up and stuffed into a trash can over by the corner. We've already notified the hospital. Who found him? A group of actors from Compagnia de Lappland. They already left because they had a rehearsal to get to. Compagnia de Lappland, Bernardo's people. He really is cursed with bad luck. Your Honor, the people murdered in the witness elimination case you reported last time were this person's accomplices, right? Yes, but we couldn't find anything on them to identify them with. Why would their leader show up here in such a sorry state, then? Want me to try waking him up? Please do. Stop struggling. We already have you restrained. Lavinia, do you understand the situation you're in? Who tied you up and dumped you here? Do you really need to ask, Judge? Answer my question, murderer. Maybe I can invoke Article 14 of the Penal Code to remain silent under informal investigations. You're pretty familiar with the law. Wait, what? Are you going to use Article 132, the right of special dispensation on me, Judge? Just who are you? Your average everyday murderer. I remember now. I've seen you before. Last night at the restaurant, no? You rescued that helpless clerk from Il Ministero dei Lavori Pubblici. That was 3 years ago at a legal forum. Judge Bortolotti from the city of Sorrento gave a particularly outstanding speech. Signor, I was deeply impressed by your report. Well, I just kill people for a living now. It's an easy life. What are you talking about? I can barely even remember anymore. This isn't who you are. Stop acting so self-righteous, Lavinia. You really think you understand me, just from a fantasy-filled report at a window-dressing legal forum? You can't hide true passion. It's what you said back then. Right, along with all the other naive, idealistic nonsense I rattled off. All young people are like that, thinking they can change the world all on their own. I just happen to wake up sooner than you, Lavinia. You said we should all strive to find the common line that can protect anyone. Yes, here's an example. Join a familia, listen to the boss, and kill anyone who gets in your way. Judge Bortolotti, I can help you. Ha! Help me? Oh, that's right. You have the great and powerful Bolognes backing you. Your honor and dignity will stay untarnished. You won't get chained down or beaten up for a moment of naivete. You won't come home to the sight of your house going up in smoke along with your family. You don't know a damn thing, Judge Lavinia. You have no idea how weighty the code you hold in your hand is, how easily it can destroy your life. Luckily for you, you'll never have a chance to find out. Watch out, Lavinia! What? We need to get out of here now. What's this? They've sent a ton of people. Come with me. Assassination attempt on the judge, and just in time she shows up. Ooh. Okay, this looks a little rough.
that.
Okay. That was some good coverage, but we're gonna plop him there too. I could probably put her there. Okay, we got 23. Doesn't look like we really have anybody to deal with as far as
Pay for that.
civilians or anything in this mission.
I'm here to help.
Myrtle there just to...
Not one step backward. Whew, almost. We're counting on you
Okay.
again today, little
the
apple.
army over this way. Ooh,
Take
most intriguing. I might be okay with what I got now. We're already at 12.
Not one step back. We're counting on you again today, little apple. Doctor, I can heal that wound in no time.
Ooh. Okay.
Toro, tobe!
半歩だって引かない。 them.
I know what you're thinking. Get already, guys!
準備完了。心配しないで。Draw swords.
Don't be afraid, please! Up to your senses! Asha! I'll
Okay.
show them what I can do.
Got these last couple here. Alright. Come on. We got that guy. Alright, sweet. That one was fairly easy too. I mean, that's only the first 3, but still. We blasted through them pretty quickly. Why is she here? It's Texas! We've already lost a lot of our men. She shouldn't have let Lavinia talk to that piece of trash for so long. Forget it. After seeing her colleague fall to utter depravity, that woman's spirit is done for. As long as we can snuff out Leon's childishness, doesn't matter how we do it. Call our people back, we're leaving. They turned around and left. He's already dead. Took an arrow straight through the heart. Thank you. If not for you all, I'd have been the one to die here. Close your eyes, murderer. What's this? A notebook. A Siracusan judge license. He was keeping it in his breast pocket. Corner has been clipped, and it's written here that the holder was disbarred 3 years ago for malfeasance. Malfeasance, huh? Malfeasance. Did they really not come up with a better excuse? Are you alright? I think I should be asking you how you got out of prison. Trade secret. Fair enough. I don't have the energy to pursue that either right now. You need to rest. I can't do that just yet. This trail has just gone cold. I need another lead. Jan has a saying, haste makes waste. Of course I know that. But time is a luxury I can't afford anymore. Was Karachi important to you? No. I only ever met him a few times. After all, I am a judge, and our roles could hardly be further apart. But as any resident of Volsini can tell you, he was an extremely vigorous man, smoothly navigating his relationships with the familiae. He dedicated all his time and energy to the construction of the new city area, trying everything at his disposal to give the people a safer place to live. By investigating his death, I've come to better understand his life. Carefully, delicately, as if walking on thin ice, he would desperately rack his brain to produce anything of value that could be exchanged for a little more breathing room to carry out his work. Excuse me. For example, building more schools and hospitals far away from the turf fought over by the familiae. I'm not sure how I should think of him. Maybe he was just a decent man with the slightest bit of conscience. But the fates of decent people in Siracusa are already sealed. Just like this man, a hitman carrying a judge license. Siracusa has proper law schools. They use textbooks published in Columbia. After graduating, students aren't restricted but to working in local Siracusan law firms and accreditations. They also gain accreditation in Columbia. Nowadays, our exchanges with Lungmen are becoming more and more frequent. Maybe with enough time, even Great Yan will come to recognize our certifications. Sounds good. It is. Of course it's good. But none of that makes any difference. My alma mater once invited me back to deliver a speech to my juniors to give them some confidence. So I went. When I got up on that stage, I wanted to tell them to believe in what they had learned, but I just couldn't do it. In Siracusa, the law works because of the existence of a single person, not because it's based on any sort of universally recognized fairness. In a sense, it's even more absurd than complete lawlessness. More incredibly, after almost 6 years, the Siracusans have gotten so used to living in this environment that nobody dares to question it now. Am I justice personified? No. I might be a symbol, but even I do not know what stands behind my back. Wanna grab a bite? That'd be nice. Grazie. I didn't expect you to be here, Leon. I heard someone attacked you, so I rushed over. Nothing major happened, thanks to Texas's help. But we're at another dead end. Just drop it already, Lavinia. Leon, I believe we had an agreement not to bring things up that might spark an argument at the table. Now's not the time for that. No, it's the only thing that lets us sit together and share a meal regardless of our positions. If you insist on breaking it, then I'm afraid I must take my leave. Padron Leontuzzo. You're messing around with your life on the line here. I've been messing around with my life on the line since the moment I became a judge in this city, Padron. I'm planning to talk to the Rosati's. I spit. I don't care what they think about Selenia's presence. This is a discussion they can't avoid. We have the initiative. As long as we can keep them down, it doesn't matter if we have a double agent in our midst or other familiae at our throats. We'll suppress them all. That's not where the problem lies. Things are incredibly tense throughout the city right now, and everyone's speculating about who did it. The situation will only spiral out of control unless we stabilize it. I'll be frank. If you could really find the murderer, I'll spare no expense to help you push the case forward. But right now, the other side has already come prepared. What you encountered today was without a doubt a warning shot. Your investigation won't go anywhere, even if you try to press the issue. You're only going to land yourself in more trouble. So I should just go along with your plans, drop the investigation, and let this case fizzle out. Lavinia, you're not the kind of person to get carried away by her emotions. Leon, you've worked with Ministro Karachi before. You probably knew him better than I do. Regardless of how he ended up in that position to begin with, he was still a person who could make the city a better place. These things happen every single day. So are those in Siracusa who want to be good people doomed to die? You're more important to me than he was. To you, Minister Karachi's death might be nothing more than a spell of heavy rain. Rain won't fall on anyone who's standing inside, so you just wonder why it's lasting for so long. If you're feeling particularly generous, you might even hand out some umbrellas to the people on the streets. But for me, I'm sick and tired of asking myself how long I plan to stand there under the roof. How are you going to stop all the rain by yourself? Stop the rain all by yourself? At least this time, I don't want to feel like a helpless bystander watching someone like Karachi die for nothing. I've already done too much against my will. Leon, if, and I mean if, my life could be exchanged for something, that might make things a bit more bearable for me. One thing I learned from the Colombians is, if you want someone to listen to you, incentives can be more useful than violence. But that doesn't mean I won't ever choose violence, Lavinia. And this is exactly what I was talking about, the biggest difference between you and me. You've always got the option of violence, but you refrain from using it because of your upbringing and self-control. I'd even like to thank you for your kindness. That's not what I meant. And I'm not blaming you either, Leon. For you to even consider why the rain hasn't stopped yet is already exceptionally rare to see. But you are the next head of the Familia Belloni, and I'm just a judge who can't help herself. Our worldviews have always been fundamentally different. Let's leave things here, Leon. If you really want to help me, then keep doing what you need to. If you're able to negotiate with the Rosati's, that would already help ease up the situation. However, unless you lock me up right now, nobody will stop me from finding the murderer. Silence falls across the restaurant. Leontuzzo wants to think of something else to say, but all the words he can muster in his mind come up blank. His throat twitches twice, but no words come out. Hold on. Texas? Oh, right. You should head back with Leon. He'll need you in his negotiations with the Rosati's. No, I have a better idea. You needed a culprit, right? Then I'll be the culprit. Do you even know what you're saying? It's the quickest way to get the situation under control. I don't need others to take pity on me. Don't get the wrong idea. I'm doing this for myself. You're both right. If things continue like this, the situation will only get more and more chaotic, making it harder to find who's actually pulling the strings. Best method we have is to find the killer before everything spirals out of control. And of course, the other side will do everything in their power to prevent that. So you're going to offer yourself up as bait? Yeah. Nobody else is a juicy enough target. I might just fit the bill. You'd make Texas into the real criminals, sacrifice some renown to take on all the blame using people's ignorance of your familia. And after that, you can release me. That would be the fastest way to stabilize the situation while also potentially drawing the true mastermind out of hiding. An ambitious plan, but it might be worth a shot. However, you're the last of the Texas bloodline, and this is Siracusa. Personally, the most important thing about the Texas name is the reputation it brings me. As I said before, I only have one goal, to see through my agreement with Bologna and then leave Siracusa. But why? Why would you go out of your way to do this? I also have a number of friends who are trying to change things for the better, in a place called Rhodes Island. I'd never accept them dying in vain either. If this plan goes well, I might even put other forces behind the scenes and countercheck. I'm really starting to count my lucky stars that you're on my side. Spare me. If this is what we're going with, we'll need this trial to be a barn burner. Ultimately, that's the only way we're going to keep the other familiae down. I'll handle all the other arrangements. Now's our chance to hit back. Can you give me your assurance that you'll let me leave Siracusa? I swear this to you. Once we successfully execute this plan, nobody will pursue you ever again. Those who've kept an eye on you, be it the Rosati's or any other familia, will only know that. Selenia, Texas broke out of prison and fled Siracusa. Sorry, Lavinia. This might fly in the face of the dignity of the law. No, I don't think so. All that remains is to see things through.
Weaklings.
Weaklings. Okay, so now I got her stuff. Okay. Lavinia Falcone. The word justice should never cross the lips of a familia-backed judge, but she has never forgotten the ideals she set for herself when she first stepped into the courthouse and still stands resolute. Okay. Let's back off here. Nothing yet more for Texas until after IS4 at least, it seems. So let's go ahead and switch over to Lavinia or Penance. Time to go home after a long day at work. Okay, follow the little pointers here. Citanova Main Street. Buildings along Citanova's Main Street boast magnificent architecture, but their sharp edges and corners are a bit too sharp for some familiar's taste. Okay, let's skip this. Okay. Someone help me, I didn't do it on purpose. Quit hollering already, you think they don't have eyes and ears? They just know when they ain't seeing nothing. Hey, what are you doing charging people like that? Oh. You there. If you still intend to run, you'll be in contempt of our ironclad order. Ugh, bad luck. Fine, you win, Your Honor. I'll go with you this time, but let me warn you now, bitch. Better watch where you walk alone the next few days. Stai zitto. Whatever that means. Stai zitto. Good question. We'll figure that out sometime. A few days later. Your Honor. Oh, I remember you. Did that guy keep bothering you after the case was settled? He gave up. I came to thank you. These flowers are for you. What happened? I just saw him on the street corner. He's still after me. Come with me. Received bouquet of gratitude. The judge was even willing to turn against her familia to help him, but the customers started questioning whether they should still associate with her while buying flowers. Okay. Stained Codex. Codice Insanguinato. Lavinia's Codex, a smudge of another judge's blood, can be found on its cover. The finger that brushed against its thorns, bearing the same will as hers. The Codex acknowledged his wound. Okay. Bolsini Courthouse. Point of interest. Protect the civilians targeted by the mafiosi. In Siracusa, the law represents the will of one. As the agent of that will, Lavinia finds herself struggling to protect ordinary citizens. Clear the stage with a 3-star rating while protecting at least 3 Siracusan civilians from being defeated. Okay, let's do it. Okay.
All right. Freeze!
Do this way. Let's stack it over here. We'll see how things go. Oh, that's another one of them. Interesting. Cookie there. Okay.
Roger.
Amia there. Ooh. What's this guy?
Pay for that.
Draw swords.
He's a tough one.
Shut up.
Only at 8 so far. Okay, one guy's through. Perfect.
Got it.
Her there. Oh, yes. Excellent. So this is just like a red herring. 18, 19, 20. Yeah, this is a red herring because only those guys come out of here. That's interesting. I didn't protect that, which I guess kind of was a good thing, but also a dumb move because I didn't realize, you know, at first that nobody would come out of there, but still.
Slice them up like a millefeuille.
That's intriguing.
How do you like it?
Okay. Operation complete. This case is about to head to trial. I'll need to head up. Okay. Civilians once watched a judge get pulled into a car and could only fearfully avert their eyes, not daring to peer behind the scenes. I was worried I almost accidentally skipped the whole thing. Excuse me, I'm here to retrieve some files. Here's my permit. Sure, it's in the archives in the back. I'll take you. Just sign your name when you find what you need. Huh? One moment, please, Senora Lavinia. Were you getting ready for a trial? When these files were archived yesterday, they said that the prisoner in question had been released early. You're only allowed to borrow these files for the time being. Received borrowed dossiers. The judges have long grown accustomed to the fact that a large number of files will be thrown into the archives with no closure, just like this one. Nobody informed me. Which judge authorized the prisoner's release? The individual in question is an associate of Familia Bologna. I still remember him. Right now, they probably need all the manpower they can get, or there's some other calculus involved, and if he's convicted, it'll create problems for the Familia, or it could be the same as before. It's not time yet. He told me before that I would finally realize true justice in Siracusa. But how long must I endure this kind of justice? Here, I'm done looking. Thanks in advance for having to re-archive them. Right. You're not going to ask for a retrial? No, not right now. Explore more areas first, so I got as far as I can with her now, too. Intriguing. Alright. Let's grab some stuff out of here, maybe. Let's grab these things, because they're not going to cost me much. Stuff's very, very helpful. Okay. Perfect. All right. So we got almost all this cleared. This is an infinite thing, so I'm not worried about that. And we'll get these next, little by little. So that's going to be 40 times 5 is 35. 40. Yeah, 8 times 5 is 40. Duh. So that's 80. 5 times 15. 15, 30, 45, 60, 75. That's 155. And so it's 295 right there to clear this. And then we'll just have all this stuff. Not too bad. Not too bad. So let's go back here and see if there's anything we can really do with our operators or anything. First things first, we'll use that. Claim all these. Check our base.
This place reminds me of Lungman. It's quiet. Doesn't have the constant pitter-patter of the rain.
Ciao, Doctor.
Squads. Let's see. Can I upgrade her at all? Bump her to 59.
Thanks.
It's a good jump. Okay. Nobody else I can really do anything with right now. All right. Right, let's do a little bit of headhunting before we finish up this episode. We're going to keep plugging away at the Colonel banner.
Nice to meet you, Doctor.
Perfumer.
I'm Lena. the
Lena.
Perfumer. Interesting job.
So we got one more for now. And another 3-star.
Vanilla.
It's Vanilla.
Trainee
All right.
operator from Blacksteel. Looking forward to learning from...
Home. And the only one I have is her to upgrade potential on. Okie dokie. All right, so that wraps up this first episode of the Il Siracusano rerun event. And we had a lot in there. We finished 3 of the main story stages, did a bunch of little side stuff, got a bunch of things farmed out of the item shop already without actually doing any farming, so to speak. But there's a lot of interesting story bits to dive into there, and a lot of crazy stuff happening all just in a short span of time. So it's very intriguing where this is going to go, and I'm anxious to see what the direction of this trial is. You know, you've got all these different characters and their involvement between the Beast Lord Zaro and obviously pulling Texas back into things, and you have Lappland who just pops up out of nowhere and she's playing multiple sides. You can tell there's some stuff going on there. And you've got the Bellones and Lavinia and all the different families and stuff, the things that are going on. You've got Rosati, who she's involved with the play and stuff about the Texas family. And then, of course, you have the Penguin Logistics operators who are there in Siracusa, and Texas doesn't realize it yet. There's just a lot of different things going to bat here. And it's all going to come together. We know something major is going to happen here soon. But the question is what and how. So we're going to continue to dive into it a little bit more in the next one. But for now, that's it for the first episode of this. We've done some major jumping in so far. And, well, I believe there's 10 main portions to this story. So over the next couple days, I'm going to record until we get this done, and hopefully maybe we'll beat this one. But I will be trying to do some farming and stuff in the meantime to improve all my operators and get them where they should be. So with that being said, guys, that is it for this video. I'll see you guys next time.